eliminate that worry by sending their own technicians out to your home 4 times a year to do the general maintenance for you. And if you ever need service done, they will either repair or replace your equipment, and that work is also being done by an Upkeep employee. It's not a third-party contractor trying to upsell you. Their plans are extremely affordable. You can even divide your payments up over the 12 months of the year. And when you use code DGS, you get $100 off your service. To check out all of their different home warranty plans, go to their website, upkeepstl.com. That's upkeepstl.com.
You can listen to 97.1 FM Talk online anytime. Just go to 971talk.com, where you can listen live and even rewind. Or download the app for your phone at radio.com. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
She's warning that people shouldn't be complacent. President Trump visited 2 swing states yesterday. He's in a third today. I get you don't like what he's saying, but if the Biden campaign's so worried about complacency, where was Joe Biden yesterday? He had a whole day without any public events with less than 3 weeks to go.
Jake Tapper, from the top row, pretty shocking there to hear some criticism on the vice president, the former vice president, who not only is he taking a day off, this dude's not going to be on the campaign trail until Thursday. Good grief. Like, imagine if you were in charge of the globe, the world power that is the American president. It's not the way it's supposed to be. And if you want an American president who's much more interested in our affairs being here in the United States, then you probably got to vote for Donald Trump, because he's the one who keeps bringing our troops home and focusing on our country. Joe Biden is not going to be on the campaign trail until Thursday, which is going to be at the debate. I just heard a report on Fox News just a bit earlier, and I didn't get to hear what the payoff was, but a suggestion that maybe the president might take a different approach to this next debate. I'm like, God, I hope so. I hope so. Like, you think Joe Biden's trying to get in fighting shape for the next 4 days? Like, he's got his boxing gloves on, and he's like, pow, pow. Like, what is he doing? What does he need to do for 4 days at home? Or, folks, let me ask you this. If the president is out in public, he's going to be followed by his press pool. If he's being followed by his press pool, then the chances of him getting asked a question are a little bit higher, right? Getting asked a question about his son. When you are somebody who is out on the campaign trail all the time, both candidates have a gaggle of reporters that follow them around. And the vice president got asked as he was boarding the plane. Katie, I don't know. I didn't send this to you, so I don't know if we have this. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he was asked by a CBS reporter about it, and he's like, "It's just a smear campaign, and I knew you'd be the one to ask me that." He like bullied him back, and I'm like, folks, if you don't like it when Trump does this, you better not like it when Joe Biden does this.
We have it.
Which one is it?
Cut number 8.
8. Let me go. Okay, I'm going to play this because this is such a diversion here. Listen.
What's the New York Post story about your son, sir?
I know you'd ask it. I have no response. It's another smear campaign. Right up your alley. Those are questions you always ask.
I knew you'd ask it. It's another smear campaign. Those are the kind of questions you always ask. That's crazy. It's crazy that this should be. If this is verified now, the director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe, came out today and confirmed that there is absolutely not a thread of evidence to suggest that this is any sort of Russian disinformation campaign, that there is not a single tie to Russia in any of this. And also a few things to verify the veracity of this laptop, the emails. First of all, Hunter Biden's lawyer went and asked for his client's laptop back. First and foremost, you don't go ask for your laptop back when it ain't your laptop. And like, come on, that's amateur to be doing something like that. To go and be like, can we have that laptop? It's not our laptop, but we would like to have our laptop back. Well, I don't know about that one. So you've got the lawyer requesting the laptop back. You have people who are involved in these email chains saying, yeah, these are absolutely true. Over the weekend, Peter Schweitzer, who authored the book Clinton Cash and also something Empires. What was it? I'll come up with it in a little bit. Another book, maybe Broken Empires or something. I don't know. Maybe we can Google that. In 2018, he authored this book, and this guy named Cooney is in jail right now for fraud, and he's in jail for fraud because of something that he was involved in, along with Hunter Biden and Devin Archer. But for some reason, those guys got off the hook and he ended up going to jail. Well, he ends up reading this Schweitzer book that's talking about some of the things that you get a little more of a taste of in some of these emails that have come out here. And so this guy, whose last name is Cooney, reaches out to Peter Schweitzer and says, I have something you might like. And Schweitzer says, well, what is that? He goes, here's my Gmail account. Here's my password. Here's written consent so that you can go through and read these emails, and you can see for yourself some corroboration in what you've already discussed. You can see for yourself, from my end of it, what is true. Now, Peter Schweitzer has a treasure trove of emails, Secret Empires. Thank you, Katie, for that. So that is, folks, when you're hearing about that story, that is completely and totally separate from the MacBook or the laptop that was left at a repair store that this guy turned into. His last name's Paul. This guy, Paul, turned this laptop in a year ago or more to the FBI. You know what he didn't do? He didn't sell it. You know what he didn't do? He didn't take it to some reporter to get some exclusive. You know what he didn't do? He didn't make a big deal of it himself. He went to the FBI, the federal authorities, so that they could look into this and see what was going on and do something about it. Because when this dude saw what was on this laptop, the likes of which we don't know, we have not seen. There are a lot of things floating out there, folks. And I know some of you are sending me suggestions of what is on this laptop. Until it's verified by somebody that isn't a fringe conspiracy theorist organization, I'm not going to report those things, because I want to make sure I get this right. I want to make sure that here on this show, we report to you things that we know to be true. Although there are things that have come up of it that we have seen that we do know now are verified. This laptop situation and this entirely separate scenario that involves the author Peter Schweitzer, those are two entirely different events. They're happening at the same time. It's a really, really big deal. So when Joe Biden says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some debate prep until Thursday so I can be ready to debate Donald Trump again. Folks, I think this has a whole heck of a lot less to do with him preparing for a debate than it does shielding him from reporters, which I don't really understand. Like, how scary can these reporters actually be?
Mr. Biden, what flavor did you get? We got one vanilla, one chocolate, but I wanted to get what we call black and white, but we're going to move it. In other words,
what kind of ice cream did you get, Mr. Biden? The people want to know. They need to know right now. It's chocolate and vanilla, and that just seems so boring and old.
At least the question was super intense. Mr. Biden! Mr. Biden! What about that ice cream in your hand?
It seems as though you sold your soul to China and Ukraine. Any other countries we should know about, but what about that ice cream?
Is that Dole Whip, sir?
Nice one. Appreciated. If you know, you know, people. If you know, you know. I mean, Joe Biden is not under threat of being exposed by the media. Oh my gosh, he's their biggest asset. Unless right now they're a little concerned. Unless, here's the other thing about the veracity of these emails and this situation regarding the laptop. Hunter's lawyer asked for Hunter's laptop back. That's a big tip off for me. I don't really need to know a whole lot more, but if you do, What about the fact that this has been out there and there has not been a single denial? Not a single denial. Nobody has come out and been like, this is absolutely false. It's completely false, and I can prove that it's false because of X, Y, and Z, and it's just an October surprise contrived by the Trump administration because they're trying to drown me, blah, blah, blah. They haven't. You know what they do? They fight back in a way that suggests that the question should not even be asked. And I can kind of understand, I kind of get it. When you're living in this day and age with this media and the massive division that exists between these two parties, I can kind of see why Joe Biden would be like, where the heck do you get off asking me a question like that? Who do you think you are? And don't you know who I am? And don't you know how this works? But what kind of ice cream did you have, sir? Give me a break. This is a really big deal, folks. The thing you need to understand is it has never been more important for you. If you want to make sure that we continue to get to the bottom of this, the president still, if he doesn't win re-election, he still has until January 20-something in order for him to wrap this up with a bow. But if the president doesn't get reelected, it's going to stop then. You need to talk to somebody in your life who may be disgusted by the state of affairs, but needs to understand what's at stake here. And you need to do it with, like I've said before, you need to do it with love for that person, not with some sort of, all right, sit down. Are you ready for your education? Here's a pen and here's a paper. Take some notes. That's never going to go well. And you're not going to convince that person who wants to sit down and tell you exactly why you need to vote against Donald Trump. That's not going to help either. It's the people who don't want to dip their toe into this cesspool of information because it is so incredibly unattractive and so incredibly hateful that for them to invest their time in it seems like, why would I waste my time, my energy, and my anxiety in getting into this? The stakes are high. You could be the key to getting somebody who's not going to vote or who can't stomach a vote for either of these candidates to understand what's at stake here. You might be the first person to ever be so bold to say, you know what, this president isn't racist. And they're going to go, excuse me, what? What do you mean this president isn't racist? He's never denied white supremacy before. He's been asked a bunch of times, and I don't understand why he's never come out and say it. Why is it so hard to not say that this president why is it so hard for him to say, I denounce white supremacy? Why won't he say it? Well, he said it this time. He said it that time. He said it this time. He said it that. He said it dozens and dozens and dozens of times, and he said it consistently since 2015 when he was running for office. And he has the proof. He has the record to show things that he has done in an effort to try to reach out to Black Americans, to Latino Americans, to people who are here, who are immigrants, yes, immigrants, to give them an opportunity to have the leg up, the opportunity that comes with being an American. Joe Biden is not American opportunity. Joe Biden wants to take American opportunity away and replace it with American provision, which means you elect this guy who's going to be big government, who's going to go in and make sure that everything is equitable. That's what he wants to do. The problem is that nowhere does anybody say that if everything were equitable in this country, that it would be good for anybody. Having the opportunity to succeed is what you have in this country in a way that it doesn't exist anywhere else. And preserving that is the most important thing to the American future that we want to have for our kids. You don't even know what Joe Biden's policies are on a bunch of things because they aren't his policies, because they don't come from him. And he's not willing to come out and campaign. We are 15 days from the election, folks. 4 days away from a debate, and he's at home taking care of Joe Biden. Not willing. You want to look at Donald Trump. This man is willing to answer a question from anybody, anywhere, at any time. He's unafraid because he stands by what he believes in. Yeah, sometimes it's a little rough around the edges. Yeah, sometimes it's a bitter pill to swallow, but you know what you're voting for. You know exactly what you're going to get. And if you look at what he's done, if you look at what he's accomplished, I saw a tweet today from the White House administration citing that source so that you know where I got it from. I believe it was Kayleigh McEnany that said that American incomes are going to go down an average of $6,500 a year with a Biden administration because he's going to raise taxes on you. He's going to raise taxes on the people who employ you. And he's proud to do it. It's such an easy decision to make in November. It's so simple to understand the stark contrast. They have no similarities. There's no place where they cross over one another. The thing we have to remember is that we have to show up and vote. And every time I hear someone say, make a plan to vote, I'm always like, I don't want to vote for Joe Biden. They don't talk about Joe Biden, but I feel as though they're saying, make a plan to vote for Joe Biden. No, it's just make a plan to vote. I know what you mean. Well, I'm telling you to make a plan to vote, and I'm not voting for Joe Biden. I don't know who you're voting for. I got to be honest, I haven't paid a lot of attention to the Libertarian candidate. I'm going to tell you this. I have paid zero attention to the Libertarian candidate. And Tony Colombo, our resident Libertarian extraordinaire, texted me a video that he said I should watch. And I said, Joe Jorgensen is a woman?
Jojo.
I don't know if Tony's going to come on the show anymore. I think I just grossly disappointed him with that comment. Still a pandemic. Still talking to Dr. Hardman each week on Mondays. He's going to be here when we come back. Man, a lot of COVID questions to ask him. We'll have them for him when we come back, and we're going to ask your questions as well. So come onto the Facebook page, facebook.com/Annie Fry Show. Watch the live with us, chat with us, ask your questions of the good doctor, and also the Annie Fry YouTube page. You can ask your questions in the chat there as well. We'll be back in a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Decision 2020 is here at 971talk.com/election. Brought to you by Hanson's Tree Service. Contact Hanson's Tree Service. Our work is tremendous. 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey there, it's Billy with Inside Out Tax. I used to work for the IRS, and I help people every day get to the bottom of their tax problems. If you're being inundated through the mail, if you've had someone from the IRS show up at your home or place of work, then give me a call to set up a free 30-minute consultation at 636-495-5700. That's 636-495-5700. Or reach out to us through our website at insideouttax.com.
MySlim180.com is the website. If you're looking to lose weight and shed that weight before the holiday season gets here, I don't blame you. I think it's a great plan. Go into the new year with a fresh new you, healthy and ready to go. If you've been looking to lose some pounds, Slim180 is there to help you with that process. You can choose their traditional program, their medically supervised HCG rapid weight loss program. That's what I have lost over 40 pounds on. And also their new Quick Start Lipo-Lean program. The Slim180 centers follow strict guidelines to keep you safe. They are adhering to all of the necessary protocols to make sure that you can go through this process to healthier you with all of the proper precautions in place. You can call 888-754-6111 and make your appointment right now. Mention the Annie Fry Show when you call and set up a free consultation. What do you have to lose except the weight? 888-754-6111 is the phone number. They have 6 locations conveniently located for you. Online at myslim180.com.
At Spire, we know the value that natural gas brings to the communities we serve, from a hot shower after a long day to the warmth and comfort of a cozy home. And we know that in any year, some of us struggle to make ends meet. But this year isn't just any year. If you're struggling to pay your natural gas bill, we're here to help. Our dedicated team of community support specialists is ready to help identify the assistance program that's right for you. To learn more, call us or visit us online at spireenergy.com/assistance.
It was a time of optimism. Businesses were growing and the American dream was alive. But a health and economic crisis lay in wait, threatening our security and prosperity. Businesses struggled to survive and support their employees. The weight was on their shoulders. Insperity was built for times like this. We've provided confidence amid the chaos, restoring the indomitable spirit of the American entrepreneur, together rising above. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Lakeside Renovation and Design, known originally as Lakeside Exteriors because they're the trusted name still in James Hardie Siding. Now they do inside projects as well. So many people were so grateful for the wonderful work they did. They really appreciate the Lakeside lifetime workmanship warranty that comes on top of each manufacturer's warranty. And they trust these folks. They are so kind. When I have sat down and I've talked with the employees here at Lakeside, the owners, man, they are passionate about doing high quality quality work, doing it right, and having customers come back again and again. And that's how this really works. People said, you did a great job on the outside. Could you do the kitchen remodel on the inside? I said, we sure can. And then they came back. They did that as well. So their lakeside renovation and design right now, they can help you every step of the way. If you know what you want, they can help implement it. If you know you want something different than what you have currently, these are basically artists when it comes to transforming the interior of your home or the exterior home to a masterpiece. You will not be disappointed with the work that they do. Also, ask them about the 18 months interest-free financing options for you as well. LakesideRenovationAndDesign.com.
Are you sick and tired of your janitorial company not meeting your expectations? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis, the commercial cleaning company you can count on. Have you had it with your cleaning guys not showing up? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis to get the job done. The Jan Pro cleaning and disinfection process guarantees satisfaction for a wide range of industries and budgets through quality, technology, and a measurement for a consistent clean every time. Tired of no follow-up? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis, 314-989-9977. Trusted, clean, guaranteed.
The commute is making a comeback, and dependable traffic is here to get you there. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us. We are going to have the House Minority Leader, Jim Durkin, on here with us in just a second. Very excited to talk to him about something that is going... Okay, so the campaign as we move close to Election Day here in Illinois, man, it has gotten some sort of nasty. Ryan, have you had any interactions or anything with anybody? Have they been pushing hard on getting your vote, your mailbox? Have you seen a lot of state rep action?
Man. Yeah, in the mail, on my phone, and in person. I've had people come to my door, so it's getting pretty intense. We're real close.
So what are the issues that you see in front of you the most? Like what, first of all, what everyone always tells me is, I was speaking with some good friends this weekend, everything they get in their mailbox seems to be pro-Dem, anti-Republican.
Yeah, most of what I'm seeing is in favor of the fair tax. That's the most mail that I'm getting.
And I've seen so much stuff from people, and it's just, like all you got to do is pull the flyer out of the mailbox, and you just look at it, and you're like, whose pictures are in black and white, and
Yes.
who is walking through a prairie field with a child and a firefighter or something like that. It's
Right,
like,
right.
you don't even have to read what's on it to be able to tell. And it just seems as though there's a huge emphasis on in my mailbox, probably in yours, of pro-Democrat, anti-Republican stuff. So I wanted to take this opportunity here to talk with Leader Durkin, the House Minority Leader, Representative Jim Durkin, joining us now. Representative, thank you so much for coming on and squeezing us in here. It's great.
Glad to do it, Annie. How are you?
Doing okay. Now, I got to ask you a question. I feel very accomplished here on the Annie Fry Show because for the very first time in my life, my show, the Annie Fry Show, was cited in some attack mail. And I started getting these text messages from a bunch of people saying that here in our district, the state Democrats, which from what I understand is Mike Madigan, was trying to talk about how Lisa Shampoli was against education funding and how Katie Stewart has done such a fantastic job here in defending education funding. And then we get this next message here, which really blew my mind. An ad that came across my Facebook page here, and it talks about how Katie Stewart is fed up with the political gridlock in Springfield hurting our families. And I said, how can you have political gridlock while Katie Stewart is a Democrat? She's got a supermajority every way you turn. What kind of political gridlock are we talking about here?
Well, that's interesting. You raise a good point. The political gridlock is, I'm not sure where it's coming from, but all I know is that Katie Stewart has taken $1.3 million from Mike Madigan.
Holy cow.
This cycle, and she has voted for him as speaker, but she wants to return to Springfield to fix and to clean up the corruption. But public official A is Mike Madigan. He is mentioned 72 times in the deferred prosecution agreement. That is the criminal case that the U.S. Attorney's Office filed against Commonwealth Edison, where Commonwealth Edison, over a 9-year period, admitted to bribing Mike Madigan to the tune of $1.3 million, which is exactly the money that she's received from, coincides with the money that she's received from Mike Madigan. But the fact is, the truth never got in the way of the BS that the Democrats spew down there day in and day out. It's mind blowing when I hear that Bristow and Stewart are both going to clean up Springfield and they're going to root out corruption. But Stewart's right now at $1.6 million received from Mike Madigan. Stewart's at $1.3 million. They are two of the most disingenuous elected officials in the state of Illinois. For them to actually look themselves in the face and say that they're going to clean up corruption, but they haven't made a decision on Mike Madigan, may be the biggest whopper that I've heard in my lifetime.
We're speaking with House Minority Leader Jim Durkin, and I want to ask you a bit about Lisa Shampoli, who's challenging Democrat Madigan minion Katie Stewart in the 112th, and same goes for Monica Bristow in the 111th. We have Amy Ellick and Lisa Shampoli, two fantastic candidates. I have been working hard down here to get the word out about them.
Oh, I noticed it. I saw a commercial in which they quote you excessively. You're cited as as a reliable source on all those ridiculous negative attack acts against Lisa Shampoli. So you've arrived, Annie. You've arrived.
Well, yeah, I'm the one who's been walking around trying to get signatures to get a challenger on the ballot for Katie Stewart. What do you think about Lisa Shampoli and Amy Ellick, two Republicans challenging Democrats here? Katie Stewart says she wants to end political gridlock. I'd like to see some political gridlock in Springfield, quite honestly.
Well, here's what she can do. She can stand in front of everyone in her district and say that she will get rid of gridlock, her and Bristow, when they will say that I will not vote for Mike Madigan as Speaker in January if I'm elected. That's how you do it. But neither one of them are not going to do it, because both of them are tied at the hip with Mike Madigan. So, look, if people like the work that Mike Madigan is doing for the people of the state of Illinois, then they should vote for Representative Stewart and Representative Bristow and have them reelected. That's my message to them. But here's what I think about Amy Ellick and Lisa Shampoli. I like them so much that I'm coming back down to the Metro East this week to campaign for them and to talk about the truth and to dispel the nonsense that has been spewed. But they're obviously concerned about their races. That is an area that is turning Republican, has been turning very Republican very quickly, but one that is it's a border. Those are border districts, and we're losing businesses. We're losing families and businesses to Missouri on a daily basis. Both of them voted for the constitutional amendment. That is the worst. That is the single worst ballot initiative that has come that has been placed in Illinois in ballot history. Both of them voted to put it on the fair tax on the ballot. Neither one of them can back that up. It is the worst thing for our small businesses, our farmers. But let me just add one thing. I just did a press conference up here. Governor Pritzker, who's the one who said that millionaires and billionaires need to pay their fair tax. They need to pay their fair, they need to pay their freight. And what happened? We found out that the governor in 2000 for his 2018 taxes, he's the fifth wealthiest man in the state of Illinois. Paid $118,000 in state income taxes. So he claims that that the fair tax is going to bring in over $3 billion. He is woefully short and he's found ways to be able to avoid paying taxes for a man who's worth close to $4 billion. So he talks about fair share. He hasn't paid his fair share. Yeah. And that is from his own filings. Andy, it's important that people know that the governor believes that the wealthy should pay more, but he doesn't pay more. He has not paid his fair share. He pays $118,000 of state income tax. And if this constitutional amendment passes, it's only going to add $70,000 to his state tax liability if he stays within the same range. And this is a man he's the fifth wealthiest man in the state of Illinois. So both Katie Stewart and Monica Bristow, they have some explaining to do of why they are allowing the governor to twist this message of how this is only going to affect the 1% or less than the 1%. It is going to be pushed on the middle class. But I will tell you this: that they're both Lisa and Amy are wonderful. They're noble individuals. Mm-hmm. And noble women that truly want to change Illinois. And I will say this: you vote for you vote for, I'm sorry, Amy and also Lisa. Those are 2 less votes for Mike Madigan.
Yeah, completely. I want you to give us real quick here, a little example of how things work in Springfield and why Katie Stewart's just hand-in-hand partnership with Mike Madigan and Monica Bristow's hand-in-hand partnership with Mike Madigan, how Katie Stewart and Monica Bristow can be permitted to vote against something that maybe Mike Madigan is supporting, because they don't need them. When you have a supermajority, it's politically beneficial to let Katie Stewart sit a vote out or to vote against something, because then she can go back to her constituents and say she stands for something that obviously she really doesn't stand for, and how much an advocacy from a Republican in that seat would benefit what you as the minority leader, and how wonderful would it be for him to make you the majority leader, getting those Republicans to replace those Democrats in those seats, how much value that would add to what we can do in Springfield.
Here's what's important. One, both of them, they are bought and paid for by Mike Madigan. It's clear that they both voted for the constitutional amendment to place it on the ballot. So let me just play out a scenario for you. If the amendment, if it does fail in November, and I hope it does, and I'm doing everything I can to have the Constitution Amendment fail, there is a chance that if Mike Madigan is able to hold on to a supermajority, that Pritzker and Madigan will place it back on the ballot for 2 years from now. If I'm able to get Lisa and Amy elected, we can stop the constitutional amendment from ever being resurrected again in Illinois. That's what's at stake. And I do believe that the tax question is failing, and I believe it will fail. But I'm worried about that Madigan will be able to keep the seats that he has, and he will be able to place it back on the ballot in 2 years.
One other candidate real quick I wanted to mention to you as you're talking about Amy and Lisa is also David Freese in the
David's
160
fantastic.
that we need to make sure we're talking about his name. I know Amy and Lisa are right in my neighborhood, but David Freese is another huge pick.
David Freese, a little further south, we are feeling very good about his candidacy. David's working very hard, and we, like the other races, we're doing everything we can financially to get him over the finish line. But I will say that the issues that I have experienced down in when I've been in the Metro East, it's been taxes, and mainly the constitutional amendment. And to me, that is the most important issue that we see in the Metro East, but I'm seeing it in the suburbs of Chicago right now. You can't trust the Democrats. And, shame on the Democrats who placed it on the ballot. Monica Bristow and Katie Stewart were able, and there were votes in favor of it to place it on the ballot. It's the wrong thing. It doesn't reflect the district. It just doesn't reflect those districts down there. And you know what? When we see that Governor Pritzker is not paying his fair share, who is going to pay for it? It's going to be the middle class. They're going to change the rates, and that's just wrong. So let me just say this also, that not only did they vote for the constitutional amendment, but these two voted to give themselves a pay raise in this last budget. They can spin their way out of it as much as they want, but they failed to block the pay raise. And you know what? They say that it's not going to be funded. It is a legal obligation the state of Illinois is going to have to follow through with it. So we've got not only Bristow and Stewart voting for the constitutional amendment, putting it on the ballot, but also we have them voting for their own pay raise.
It's unbelievable. It absolutely is. Real quick before I let you go, you've run a few races in your time, and people are listening right now. We have so many people in the state of Illinois, but we also have friends in Missouri who want to see a better Illinois in the future. What does a $5 donation to one of these campaigns do? What is the decision to use your feet, knock on a door, or to get involved, to connect with their Facebook pages? Like, what kind of action for people who are very passionate about this and have the time, the money, the inclination to be helpful? Where do you direct them to
direct them to their websites? $5. A dollar goes. We stretch a dollar longer than anyone in the state of Illinois in any campaign. We're competing and winning in races that we shouldn't be winning in, despite being outspent 5 or 10 to 1. So I will just say this: that if people who live in that region are pleased with Mike Madigan and the work he does, then vote for Monica Bristow and Katie Stewart. If they want to see Mike Madigan gone, not only vote for Lisa Ciampoli and Amy Alec, but go to their websites and make a contribution, large or small. Every dollar is going to count over the next 2 weeks.
It sure is. Thank you so much, Leader Durkin, for the time today. We welcome you here to the Metro East as you come.
I'm looking forward to coming down there again this week. I'll be down there Wednesday and Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. We look forward to speaking
My pleasure.
to you soon.
You bet.
Bye-bye. House Minority Leader Jim Durkin joining us right there. Just a little addendum from where I sit personally as somebody who is a constituent of Katie Stewart's in the 112th. Did you hear those numbers that he said, the amount of money? Didn't he say 1.3 million Katie Stewart has taken?
Million.
And like 1.6 that Bristow has taken? From Mike freaking Madigan. He's buying these seats, folks. And like he said there, $1 from one of us up against Mike Madigan money may not seem like a lot, but the Republicans are hustling, they're working hard, and they know what to do to get through. I get paid absolutely zero. And also, if I did, it would be incredibly inappropriate for me to say these things. This means a lot to me because it matters for my future. Katie Stewart co-sponsored the Reproductive Health Care Act in the state of Illinois that repealed the partial birth abortion ban. That's reprehensible. I don't care how maybe pro-choice you are. Katie Stewart co-sponsored a bill that allowed a baby to be half-born and murdered. That's what she stands for. And she's taken Mike Madigan's money all the way to the bank to get herself reelected. She gets a pay raise for being in there. She voted for that. And it's going to continue. And these ads that I've seen come out, that this really fired me up when I saw my name on ads attacking Lisa Champoli. Do not use my name and my words against me, Katie Stewart and Mike Madigan. And I know Mike Madigan hears us, folks. You are as big of a part of this as I am, because the Annie Fry Show listeners, you make it important enough for them to monitor what we are doing here, and then they printed it. The best part about this story is that Mike Madigan had to pay to print my name on something. And the only reason why my name is valuable in print on something that he paid for is because of you. It's not me. It's because he's afraid of what you are capable of doing. I challenge you today to look at the people running in these districts. You have to go find their Facebook pages and like that. That's free. You can do that right now. Go find Amy Ellick for Illinois Representative 111 or Lisa Champoli for District 112. Go find their Facebook pages and like them, and then do something for them. You don't have to pay any money to do it. Don't print my name and use words that come from my show against me without thinking I will go toe to toe with you until November 3rd, because I will. We'll be back with Dr. Hardiman in just a minute.
It's not my problem.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Furnace tune-ups are recommended each year to keep your heating system running efficiently and extend its life. Schedule your furnace tune-up and safety inspection and get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Attention St. Louis homeowners. Are you looking to sell your house without all the stress? Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can buy your house cash and close on your timeline. No commissions, no repairs, no appraisals, no showings, no headache. Call Chris now, 314-782-7000, or go online to chrisbuysHomesSTL.com to get a free no-obligation cash offer for your house. Behind on payments? The tenant stopped paying the rent? The house needs too many repairs? Not a problem. Chris buys houses in any condition and deals with any situation. There's a reason why Chris Buys Homes is the most trusted home buyer in St. Louis. Go online to get your offer today. chrisbuysHomesSTL.com or call 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000.
Cassens Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has a whole bunch of great opportunities for you right now to save. How about the Chrysler Pacifica family pricing? This is amazing because this is the vehicle that I have right now. And family pricing is about as good as it gets. So if you've been looking for a family vehicle, if you've been looking for something that's comfortable to ride in, to get in and out of, in, to be able to pack a few extra kids or just, passengers from place to place, this Pacifica has treated my family so well, it'll do the same thing for you. Also, Jeep Adventure Days, Dodge Power Dollars, and Ram Power Dollars, all great opportunities for you to get into the vehicle that you want at a wonderful, wonderful price, all at the place that is constantly getting repeat customers, generationally even, because at Cassens they treat you right. The customer service experience is so important. They need to make sure that they sell themselves to you. When you go purchase a vehicle at Cassens, you're going to want to come back again and buy your next vehicle and your next vehicle from them. Cliff, Holly, so many of the other wonderful people who are selling. I have a whole list of reviews here from the wonderful sales staff at Cassens that keep people coming back for more. Check them out next time you are looking for your vehicle at cassenscan.com.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. I've been warning our clients that IRS employees are back at work since mid-July, and their collection efforts have ramped up. Well, sure enough, it looks like it's happening. So if you have unfiled tax returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Tax resolution plans are based off your current income. So if your current income is less than normal due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is precisely the time for the Lance Drury Law Firm to help you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
It's cash for clunkers when you upgrade with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. We'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards the new insulated door. What are your old clunkers worth? $150 for a double garage door, $100 for a single door. Cash in on your old opener and entry door too. Don't miss Cash for Clunkers in October at Overhead Door. Trusted by homeowners in St. Louis since 1926. To schedule your free estimate, call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Sean Hannity, Dave Glover, Annie Fry, Brian Kilmeade, Mark Cox. That's the lineup backward. Reminding you that you can rewind anytime at 971talk.com.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us. Just spoke with Illinois House Minority Leader Jim Durkin. It's always fun to see your name pop up on some political mailers that is used completely in twisted, warped context. So we wanted to get him on there and shout a little bit more support for Lisa Champoli in the 112th district to beat Mike Madigan's handpicked Katie Stewart. So if you missed that, go onto radio.com, hit the rewind button. You can listen to that interview. Each Monday, we speak with Dr. Scott Hardiman to get the latest and the most factual, nonpartisan COVID conversation. And Dr. Hardiman, an ENT with Gateway ENT, is on with us again. Doctor, thank you. Sorry for the delay here. That was my fault. And glad that you could stick around and have this conversation again with us.
No problem. Happy Monday to you guys.
You as well. Ryan, did you want to kick it off with a question here? You want to start the conversation?
Yeah, well, just overall, Dr. Hardiman, it seems as if we're talking about coronavirus cases quite a bit again, which either means that President Trump is having a good week or coronavirus cases are up. I was just wondering what your perspective was, medically speaking. Are we actually in an upswing here?
It does seem like the overall numbers of cases across the country are up a bit. I think when we focus in kind of on the microcosm here in Missouri, a lot of the areas around St. Louis are actually pretty good. Our case numbers have been very steady or declining. In fact, I think there was one other state that was showing 10% reduction in total numbers of cases or in the overall numbers. But generally speaking, we're kind of seeing a little bit of an uptick in the number of cases. Most in Missouri are in outlying areas. A lot of the patients that are being hospitalized are mobilizing into metropolitan areas and here in Kansas City. So I think this is not, to be unexpected. We're going to see these ebbs and flows based upon other respiratory illnesses. And as we continue to sort of get out and start to integrate in society a little bit more as well.
We're speaking with Dr. Scott Hardiman. Check out urgentspecialist.com. Great place to get your urgent care in the event that you need it. Vaccines is the big discussion right now. There's certainly political conversation that surrounds this. But my question to you is, what does this vaccine have to go through in order for it to get to the point where nobody in the Midwest like myself could end up getting this? How can I have confidence that the vaccine is a safe vaccine to get and is not just out there and accessible because it's going to score political points for one person or the other?
Sure. I think there's currently multiple vaccines that are in one phase or another of trials, some very early developmental, but there's about 5 that are in phase 3 studies, which means that they're out being given to healthy volunteers, and then they'll be surveyed over a period of time in an attempt to try and determine if they have less risk of getting the illness, or if they do get it, if it was a milder course of things. The vaccines are not 100% effective every one they get. These major contenders do seem like they induce a fairly significant immune response early on, which is why they've made it in rapid fashion to a rapid time period to the phase 3 trials like that. So, the way to get this all under control is not just simply through a vaccine. It's sort of a myriad of different things, including therapeutics and sort of natural selection in the community, but also through vaccination. And I think time will tell that from a safety perspective and also an efficacy standpoint, whether or not the vaccines can reach that sort of herd immunity to slow down the transmission of this. It's not going to go away. We have seasonal influenza every year. We have other illnesses that kind of come back, RSV. There are many that tend to cycle through during the respiratory months of the year. So this is going to be, added to the list of those. But generally, I would say if we can develop enough of an immunity within our society that you're not seeing rapid transmission, and then heaven forbid, obviously, hitting the older, more infirm population and causing them to be hospitalized or worse, dying.
From the Annie Fry Show Facebook page for Dr. Hardiman, Jenny says Trump is touting immunity to COVID-19, talking about kissing people at his audience. I've had COVID and I don't feel as
Leave
confident.
it in to make it weird.
I don't feel as confident about not getting it again. Looking at the limited information I've seen about it, what do you think? Is there immunity?
I would generally say yes. There's a handful of cases, and literally, a handful of cases of documented reinfection that are out there. And those are, we don't know exactly the whole story behind all of those, but when in genomic sequences, it seems like there's different viral strains that have been identified in those individuals. But I think largely, hence the reason we're shooting for vaccines as well, is that you can develop an immune response to this. Certainly in the near short term, I would feel pretty confident that you're going to be okay from an immune perspective, that if you were 2, 3, 4, 5 months after the onset and recovery of the illness, that you're going to be in pretty good shape. But I think, like everything else with this, we're learning every day, and I think you have to be cognizant of any possibility. But having had it before and developing antibodies to it, developing T-cell immunity to it, those are all very positive things. That's the way our immune system works, and I would feel relatively confident in that regard.
We have a question from Brad on our Annie Fry YouTube page. Are we seeing these upticks in areas that haven't seen outbreaks, or are they in areas that have already had a widespread outbreak?
I think the former. There's, like I said, little ebbs and flows in areas just based upon clusters within metropolitan areas. But as it seemed across the country, the areas that seem to be seeing a swing in cases seem to be places that hadn't really had that exposure before. And it's interesting. I was thinking this morning in reading some articles about preparing for this, that first it's, schools are going to cause transmission, then it's churches are going to cause transmission. And now we've gone to don't have small family gatherings at Thanksgiving and Christmas. To be honest, I think there's a lot of conjecture out there. I don't know that we all know with 100% certainty exactly what makes these contagious events take place. They're super spreader events, but we've also known families where a husband may get it and their wife may not, or kids in the family get it and adults don't. So there's a lot of mystery behind respiratory illnesses. It really boils down to the level of exposure. But by and large, I think where it seems to be hitting is in areas that didn't see a big uptick early on.
Doctor, one last question before we let you go here. You talking about what you are reading in the morning to, have these conversations. Just one, I ask you this every once in a while, and I think it's such an important thing for myself to hear, and I'm certain my listeners enjoy this as well. What's the one thing that you want people, if you could scream from the mountaintops and get to every person in this country right now to tell them about COVID, what's the one thing you want them to know the most?
Well, I think there's several things I would have to say, but probably singular would be just try not to be afraid of this. It's very easy with misinformation and with just the overwhelming 24-hour news cycle to always live in fear of something like this. And we're a pretty robust species. We've got a good immune system, and the vast majority of people that get this thing recover. We just need to continue to help isolate and identify those that are most at risk and protect them while we continue working towards therapeutics. So don't live in fear. Just have a bit of a respect for it, and we have to carry on with life a bit.
Have you made Thanksgiving plans yet?
Beginning to. Not fully yet. Yes.
Are you thinking that there's a way to safely gather for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think like most families, we'll probably gather as a relatively small family. We have older parents and have to be concerned about that. My level of exposure is probably more than most just because I'm in the healthcare environment, but to some degree, we all have some exposures. So I think if you lead up towards that Thanksgiving time and you're extra cautious, perhaps if you're going to be getting together in small groups or with older individuals or higher risk individuals, to perhaps maybe isolate a bit more for the 7 to 10, maybe 14 days prior to that. That will help to limit your potential of contracting something you could pass to someone else as well. It's going to be probably chilly like most Thanksgivings, but ventilating the environment well is good. And, trying to keep the group sizes relatively small, I think, are all important things to do. And then, of course, follow if you're ill or have any inkling that you have some sort of respiratory illness, don't go. Just stay home, even if it's likely to not be COVID, obviously, statistically, but try not to go and potentially expose other people, which is the right thing to do with any respiratory illness, right?
For sure. And we're learning that. I think that's one of the things that's going to come of this. Hopefully the way we handle ourselves being under the weather, hopefully we'll be a little more cautious about that. Dr. Scott Hardiman, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to speak with you and get the information from a medical perspective. We're grateful for you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You as well. Physician at Gateway ENT and Urgent Specialists, the best in urgent care around, urgentspecialist.com if you want to check them out. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to get an earful from Stephen Moore. I think when we come back, I'm excited about this. I saw an article he tweeted out that said that the president's going to need to be on his best behavior on Thursday. What does that look like? Maybe we've seen his best behavior. I mean, everything's a spectrum, right? Thursday's debate coming up. Katie and Ryan will be joining me again at my house in my basement for some fun and games and debate. And if it goes the way it went last time, I think Katie, Ryan, and I are just going to start shouting at each other instead. Are you guys up for that? We just shout
only
everything.
when you're talking.
When I start talking,
yeah.
They shout at me. Subscribe to the Andy Fry YouTube page. Don't miss a beat. We'll be back in just a minute.
Jill Shoup has been a politician for 20 years, and she's been for higher taxes a lot. 2001, Shoup backed a new federal gas tax. 2002, Shoup voted to increase property taxes without voter approval. 2003, Shoup supported another property tax increase, 21%, but this one rejected by voters. 2008, Shoup advocated for a local sales tax hike. 2009, Shoup voted to impose new taxes on healthcare. 2011, Shoup voted for higher taxes on small businesses. 2012, Shoup backed higher state income taxes and taxes on cars. 2013, Shoup wanted a higher income tax. 2014, Shoup backed higher taxes on families, higher taxes on businesses. 2015, Shoup voted for a gas tax increase. 2016, Shoup voted for another gas tax increase. 2018, Shoup voted for a higher business income tax and a higher personal income tax. And in 2020, Taxin' Jill Shoup wants you to send her to Congress. Congressional Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
An indictment for election interference. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Charges just announced by the Justice Department, though the election involved wasn't in the U.S., but other targets were. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more live.
Lisa, U.S. Assistant Attorney General John Demers announced charges against 6 Russian military officers, all part of the intelligence unit known as GRU.
The department previously charged members of this same unit, also known to cybersecurity researchers as the Sandworm Team, for their role in Russia's efforts to interfere with the 2016 U.S. elections.
This time, though, they accused the Russians of a 2015 cyber attack on Ukraine's energy sector. They also launched the NotPetya attack, which shut down businesses globally, causing billions of dollars in losses. Demers says they were behind the cyber attacks on the Winter Olympics in 2018 and tried to interfere in the French elections as well, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. President Trump predicting a great victory and telling campaign staffers on a conference call not to believe reports that the Democrats are winning.
So they have no candidate. He's like you might as well run a piece of wood, but they've got a powerful party aligned with the press.
He holds 2 rallies today in Arizona, while Joe Biden focuses on debate prep for their final face-off Thursday night. Biden's running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, is in Florida, where early voting started today.
Here in Florida, in Orlando, what you will do by early voting is you will be the first to put our country back on the right track.
There have been lines of voters in Florida, as in other early voting states. The First Lady of France is now self-isolating after contact with someone who's tested positive for coronavirus as the country's surge continues. French health officials just announcing the 7-day moving average of cases has topped a record 23,000 for a second day. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
A November feel to the air on this Monday afternoon. It's cloudy, it's chilly, a couple of showers from time to time, 49, 50. That's it for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, 43. Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Couple of spot showers, but limited rain on Tuesday, 65. Wednesday, clouds continue to be around 72, and Thursday's a warm one, 85 and humid. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Tomorrow, Tuesday, October 20th at 10 a.m. is an opportunity for you to learn something for free. At Beck Estate Planning and Elder Law, they are offering a seminar tomorrow at 10 a.m. And you can learn more online at beckelderlaw.com. This is going to help you learn about long-term care planning. Did you know that Medicare doesn't pay for your nursing home? Did you know that a semi-private bed in a nursing home can cost more than $7,000 a month? That's just based on the national average. It could be higher than that. Are you prepared to spend that kind of money? Well, believe it or not, 70% of seniors age 65 plus need some sort of long-term care in their lifetime, and these odds only increase with age. You can join Beck and Lennox for a virtual session on how government benefits may be able to help pay for assisted living or nursing home care for yourself or a loved one. It's tomorrow, October 20th at 10 a.m. And if you go online to beckelderlaw.com, you'll see more information here about how to get signed up. The trusted name when it comes to helping you with your estate plan, your long-term care planning, all of those issues that are very, very important to pre-plan for, they're the experts and they can help you. beckelderlaw.com.
I feel like I'm being haunted by a pair of headphones. Everywhere I go is a creepy ad for headphones I looked at one time. I hate feeling like I'm being watched. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy with DuckDuckGo.
Missouri lawmakers did well in 2018 by passing a series of labor reforms for government employees. Many of them, including teachers, now get to vote every 3 years on whether to keep the union they're in. And those employees now have so-called paycheck protection, giving them more say in whether a union can take money from their paychecks for union activities. But more needs to be done. The law excludes firefighters, police, and other first responders. And it still doesn't really allow for open collective bargaining for those it covers. The public should be able to attend meetings where governments are negotiating collective bargaining agreements so they can ensure their tax dollars are being spent wisely. Government union reform is off to a good start, but it's time to provide these rights to all our government employees, not just some of them. Check out our 2020 blueprint, moving Missouri forward at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Stewart's American Mortgage online at stewartsamc.com. Excuse me, stewartsamc.com. And you can call Stewie to get your refi or your home purchase at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. The bagel loan is Stewie's little crown jewel here because you can't go anywhere else to get the bagel loan. Basically, when Stewie created Stewart's American Mortgage, he did it in a way that was going to put you at the very epicenter of the entire process. He has set up his business in a way that could allow him to create the bagel loan. And the other lenders, they don't do this. You cannot go to another lender and get the same deal that you can with Stewie. That's just a fact. 314-324-4440. It's called the bagel loan because it looks like a zero, and you're going to pay zero in fees that other lenders are going to charge you for. And those fees add up, folks. You know that. When you purchase a home and take out a loan for $250,000 or more, you're going to pay zero in lender fees. The bagel loan at Stewart's American Mortgage will literally save you thousands of dollars when you purchase your home. And if you're doing a refinance as well, which I did a year ago, man, I have had a lower payment since then, and the process was so easy and smooth, and there were no fees. They weren't hidden anywhere. They just don't exist. 314-324-4440, online at stewartsamc.com, and MLS number 226715.
Mark Cox here for my friends at Pretzel Stop. You've heard me talking about Pretzel Stop for a while now. They're right there on Jungerman Road, just off Highway 94 next to Kohl's and across from Walmart. And Tony and his team are doing a great job. They've got an enormous variety of brats and sausages stuffed into a pretzel bun. But Pretzel Stop's about a lot more than that. They've got gourmet sandwiches, the chicken salad pretzel sandwich. They've got gourmet burgers on a pretzel bun, barbecue on that warm pretzel bun, and even pretzel pizza. And they've got pretzel bites that are out of this world. Do yourself a favor and stop by there. They've got desserts like fruit smoothies and sinful sundaes, and they've got you covered. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, catering. They can even customize the shape of pretzels for parties. So for more information, check them out online. You can find them at pretzelstop.com or at 1650 Jungerman Road in St. Peters.
Every day, Ameren works to deliver reliable energy throughout the region to on-the-go families, new parents, in-the-know grandparents, busy students, night owls, weekend warriors, and more. But did you know we also have options to help manage and track your energy, like paperless billing, outage notifications, pick a due date, and so much more. So no matter who you are or how you use your energy, there's an option that's right for you. Learn more at ameren.com/options.
Goodwill wants to help you celebrate the holidays at Six Flags. Donate your car to Goodwill. You'll get a tax receipt and 4 free tickets to Six Flags Holiday in the Park, featuring thrilling rides, tasty treats, and exciting family entertainment for the holiday season. Support a good cause. Donating is easy and towing is free. For more information or to donate online, visit mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Six Flags. Hurry while supplies last. Valid only for Holiday in the Park. Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill.
It's Decision 2020, and Radio.com has you covered. Take Mark Cox, Annie Fry, Dave Glover, and any show on 97.1 wherever you may roam. Stream the station live at 971talk.com. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, Sid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Stimulus talk. We're talking about it. I think Nancy Pelosi maybe is coming along. We'll find out. We want to do it. I want to do it at a bigger number than she wants. That doesn't mean all the Republicans agree with me, but I think they will in the end. If she would go along, I think they would too.
So we're seeing the president, Nancy Pelosi. From what I understand, there was some sort of like 2 p.m. our time deadline today, or maybe there was a conversation that was going to be happening between Nancy and the White House. That stimulus that we keep talking about, is it going to happen? And the bigger question, Should it happen? Let's talk to Stephen Moore about it. He joins us every Monday, and he joins us right now, the senior economic contributor at FreedomWorks and also a visiting fellow at Heritage Foundation. Stephen, thank you so much for coming on with us again. What's your best bet here? Is it going to happen? Is there going to be a stimulus? And then you can tell me why it should or likely shouldn't happen.
Well, first of all, I mean, you gotta just marvel over the chutzpah of Nancy Pelosi, presenting the president of the United States with an ultimatum. Like, you've got 12 hours to come up with a decision or I shoot the hostage, I mean, that was really,
which would be the American people. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I hope not. Look, I think this economy is really good right now. We've got the unemployment rate down to below 8%. There are still certainly problems with the economy, but they're not the kind of problems that a massive government spending bill can solve. We've got we're going to get a really, really strong number for the third quarter GDP. The sales numbers were good, and the spending numbers were good for consumers that came out last week. Housing is strong, construction is strong. So I just don't really see the need for it. And by the way, I don't think another $2 trillion lopped onto our national debt is a great idea. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but we've been borrowing. The deficit's going to be already $3 to $4 trillion this year. Do we really want to add another $2 trillion on top of that?
Yeah, no thanks.
Stephen, I watch polls like crazy, and some of the ones I've been seeing lately have been surprising to me, especially in the middle of recovery from this pandemic economic shutdown, that consumer confidence is high right now, and small business owners are confident right now. I was hoping you could explain that to me.
Yeah, by the way, you're right about both of those things. Small business confidence, by the way, is higher today than it was any time in 8 years that Obama was president. Think about that. That's amazing. You're right. In 6 months into a pandemic, that's an incredible statistic. Consumers, rather than looking at their, with what they say to pollsters, just look what they're doing, and they're shopping again. The numbers were strong, really surprisingly strong for the amount of money people were going out and spending. And that means they're going back out to restaurants, they're going back out to shops and stores, and that's a very healthy thing for the economy. And so, this debate that's coming up is really critical. I mean, Trump has got to be presidential. He has to make the case to the American people that he's the steward of the economy that they want. I think most people generally agree that, Joe Biden would not be a very good steward of the economy, but I think he's got to make a very forceful case of this because he's down in the polls. But gosh, he's not down in the polls as much as the liberals. I mean, my goodness, I mean, Biden's people are basically measuring the drapes in the Oval Office. Yeah. Remember when Hillary was doing that 4 years ago? Yeah. That didn't turn out too well for her. So I was just, I got to tell you guys, I was in Florida over the weekend. As you know, Florida's a key battleground state. It's an absolute must-win state for Trump. And everywhere I went, Trump signs everywhere. And, it's interesting. We knocked on some doors, and one of the things we found out is if there is not a Biden sign in front of a house, that means that's a Trump voter. Because we would knock on some of those doors, and then people would, whisper to us, "I'm going to vote for Trump." But they didn't want to let, to get an egg thrown at their house or something like that. So this is going to be an amazing election. And no, the answer to your guys' question is no. I just don't think spending another $2.5 trillion. And I think, Pelosi wants $400 billion for New York and California and Illinois and New Jersey and, Connecticut. And that's just not fair to the states that have already balanced their budgets.
Stephen, we call that whispering thing here on the Andy Fry Show the Wiggins effect. People always whisper to me that they like Ryan Wiggins, and I'm always like, why won't you say it out loud?
You know what? Stephen Moore always tells me I ask him good questions, so I'm just going to hang my hat on that.
Yeah, every time we get done talking to you, Stephen Moore, Ryan's got to talk about when you say, well, that's a great
by the
question.
way, I call these the undercover Trump voters. Yeah. The ones who are not showing up in the polls, but they in the polls, the opinion polls, but they show up in the voter polls, and those are the ones who will carry Trump to victory. I mean, look, right now, I really do believe it's a toss-up, and I see these, people on CNN, 90% chance that Biden's going to win. I'm like, wait a minute, you're the same people who said 90% chance that Hillary Clinton was going to win.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you that though, because you're 100% right about people not really wanting to broadcast their support for this president. You've worked the president personally. We don't. We only see what we see at the rallies and read what we read on Twitter. But you know this man personally, and you support him publicly, and you've criticized him too for things when you felt as though that was necessary. But what is it about President Trump that, with your personal connection with him, what is it that you know about him that you wished that these other Americans who were whispering their support, if even, what do you wish that they would know?
Well, let me say that I've always said this. I say this in my book, Trumponomics. There is a good and a bad and an ugly with Donald Trump. I mean, he's a complicated person, but he is a good man. Sometimes his antics and behavior is a little bit juvenile, and I think that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. But I think the thing that I admire the most about Trump, and I think this may be obvious to your listeners, so I hope it's not insulting because it is a pretty obvious point. This is a man who truly does put America first. I mean, it's not just a slogan with him. Every decision he makes is how will this affect working class Americans? And one of the things that disappointed me in that debate, the first, catastrophic debate, and it was a bad debate. It was a bad performance. I told him, he knows I'm mad at him for that debate. But, the last question was, what are you most proud of, as president? And he said something about putting good people on the court. And that was fine. That was something you certainly should be proud of. But that is not the thing that when I talk to him, he doesn't say that. What he said to me so many times is, what I'm most proud of is what I've done for minorities in this country. And we brought the unemployment rate down to the lowest level ever for blacks and Hispanics. Biggest income gains for blacks and Hispanics. He wants to give millions of black and Hispanic low-income parents school vouchers so they can go to good schools. He did the civil justice reform to let nonviolent criminals, who were maybe drug users, out of jail, to give them a second chance in life. He's very proud of that, justifiably. And I have to tell you, he is very injured by and really hurt by this talk that he's some kind of racist. He's not a racist. I mean, I look at the people who are around him who are blacks and Hispanics, they love the guy. So he treats people very well.
Stephen, you mentioned that you told the president that you didn't like his debate performance. That amazes me that you've got that relationship with him. Going into this next debate, do you know that he's preparing differently, or that he's going to strike a different tone, or does he prepare really at all?
I sure hope so. I mean, the one thing I've learned about Donald Trump is going to do what Donald Trump is going to do. I mean, you can give him advice, and sometimes he follows it, and sometimes he doesn't. But he's going to be Donald Trump, and so he has that personality that sometimes people think is abrasive. But I think a lot of Americans really understand that he's a guy who does put America first. To answer your question, I sure hope so, because he sometimes I'm a sports fan, and I almost like it better in the fourth quarter when my team's down a little bit by a few points than up by a few points. Because I feel like, I'd rather be down 3 points in a football game than up 3 points, because you play harder. And I think that's one thing about Trump. He rallies. He's a winner. This guy is a winner, and I just laugh. Right? I want the liberals to say, "Oh yeah, we got it all wrapped up. We're getting ready for we're putting together our transition team and so on." And good. Let him play like that, because I think Trump is the come from behind kid. And, but in terms of what he's going to do in that debate, I can't predict, but I think, what he's got to do, apart from his just behavior, I hope he's not rude, because he was rude to Biden. And I think that rubbed people a long way, but I think he's got to set down the course and say, look, I rebuilt the American economy. The economy was not strong under Biden. It was weak. It was a bad economy. He took over and created an incredible economy. And then he could say, look at where we are today. We're way, way ahead of where anybody thought we would be. We're way ahead of the Europeans. I am rebuilding this economy. You all know that I can do this. And you know that Joe Biden is not the right man to do it. So it's the economy, it's our pocketbook, it's our life savings, it's our retirement accounts, it's the jobs for us and our children. And just lay it out there for people saying, I want lower taxes. I want to save our oil and gas industry. I want to have, tougher trade deals with China and so on. Biden's on the opposite side of that. Really lay out the contrast.
Stephen Moore, always a pleasure to have you on here, and it's so refreshing.
I got to tell you a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't add Ryan Wiggins to the end of that. Man, every time Ryan asks you a question and you go, "Oh, that is such a great question," Katie and I have to hear about it for a week until we come back on here.
Well, he does.
Yeah.
He gets to the heart of the matter.
We're
all right, guys. Have a great week.
You too.
See you
as well. Talk to you later. Stephen Moore, senior economic contributor to Freedom Works and a visiting fellow at Heritage Foundation. Yeah, we know, Ryan. How much do you pay him per response of? That was Ryan. That is such a good question. Every time that happens, I go, "Oh, here we
go." It's not right for me to pay him to do that, but I will say that I've bought over 1,000 Trumponomic books.
My library is full of leather-bound Trumponomics.
It's just that one title, but I do have many leather-bound books.
Yeah, Ryan has an entire room dedicated to Stephen Moore books. He's got to buy one every time Stephen Moore says, "That's such a great question, Ryan." Please. Yeah, you're single-handedly keeping Stephen Moore in business. He's a New York bestseller, New York Times bestseller, simply because of Ryan Wiggins. It's pretty amazing. I'm
like Jay-Z when it comes to buying my own albums.
Let's take a quick break, and I want to follow up a little bit on something Stephen Moore said here, because we had this conversation last week about the contract with Black America, and I have to say that a lot of people might have felt like, Annie, why are you talking about this? Well, that story developed a little bit over the weekend, and I'm really glad that we did discuss it last weekend. We are going to follow up on that. Ice Cube, who has put together this contract with Black America, which is extremely broad. I disagree with many things in it, but I am intrigued by some other things that are included in it. He went on Chris Cuomo, and then he threw down with Don Lemon on Twitter. It was pretty amazing to see. Ice Cube is got a message to Democrats. I'll have that for you when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Attention St. Louis homeowners. Are you looking to sell your house without all the stress? Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can buy your house cash and close on your timeline. No commissions, no repairs, no appraisals, no showings, no headache. Call Chris now, 314-782-7000, or go online to chrisbuysHomesSTL.com to get a free no-obligation cash offer for your house. Behind on payments? The tenant stopped paying the rent? The house needs too many repairs? Not a problem. Chris buys houses in any condition and deals with any situation. There's a reason why Chris Buys Homes is the most trusted home buyer in St. Louis. Go online to get your offer today. chrisbuysHomesSTL.com or call 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000.
michaelsflooringoutlet.com is the website. Go onto the website and you can see beautiful examples of all of the different kinds of flooring options that they have for you. Obviously, the different types of flooring, but also the different colors, the different finishes, the different kinds of flooring and the way they are going to look. You can get a really good precursor to what Michaels has to offer you by going on to michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Well, granted, when you're shopping for flooring, you're going to want to touch it and feel it and experience it. But that's one of the reasons why I really appreciate the way Michaels Flooring Outlet has their store laid out. When you visit Michaels Flooring Outlet, I went to the one in St. Charles County on Main Street in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. You go in and you meet their amazingly experienced staff, the people who are going to help put you in connection with the exact right flooring for you. And you're going to get to be able to walk around on the different flooring and kind of see it from the angle that you're going to live on it. You get to experience the different kind of padding that might go under the carpet that you're looking to purchase. All of these experiences roll into one great customer service experience. If you're looking for Mohawk Smart Strand, Forever Clean Aero, Revwood Plus flooring, if you're looking for waterproof flooring, they have amazing opportunities for you right now. Savings passed along to you, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
You have been hearing the phrase, others can't compete with Complete. So just exactly what does that mean? Well, at Complete Auto Body, they are the leaders in the industry and always strive to be the best. They offer touchless service, and they are proud to offer pickup and delivery to any of their services. Your safety is the utmost importance to them as they sanitize their shop several times a day. They are also offering $50 off any repair, big or small, for any new customers, even if the repair is $49. And then it's free for our first-time customers that require our auto body collision repair and or our mechanical service repairs. Lastly, while we repair your vehicle, don't worry. We have you covered with our loaner cars for only $9.99 per day while the car is in repair. To put it simply, they offer the complete experience. This is where they show you Complete's mission. They are a family and will serve you as if you were one of their own. With 5 convenient locations, others can't compete with Complete. CompleteAB.com.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Everything that can be shaken will be shaken. It's Decision 2020. The choice is yours. 97.1 FM Talk. The place for ideas.
I'm not gonna lay around and whine and moan, cause somebody done me wrong.
Anytime we play George Strait, I think of Elizabeth McDonald on Fox Business, because when she comes on the show, 2 times in a row we've played country music, and she's like, what is this honky-tonk stuff you've got going on? Tell me more about it. Like, she all of a sudden acts like this is the only place where she can go to find out about country music.
Never heard of country
And we're in
music.
St. Louis, Missouri. It's not like we're in Nashville or like Southern Georgia or something like that. I love it.
Me too.
I'm like, what kind of music do you listen to? We were going to make her a playlist. We never did that.
Oh,
She
I gotta write
listens
that
to
down.
all German electronic music, as I understand it.
When we were talking last week about what was that one song, that one EDM song we played, Dancing in the Moonlight.
Yep.
And I asked Katie, I go, is this EDM? So then we started talking about like old people needing to understand the young people language. And so we said, I used the word FOMO, which is fear of missing out, folks at home who are playing. Fear of missing out. FOMO is a word that people say. And we said, you know what we should do is we should just educate the people who aren't in this lingo so that they know it. And then you need to casually use it at your socially distanced Thanksgiving meals around the young people and act like this is how you talk. And my mom messaged me and she's like, please sign me up for old people vocabulary education. And she told me that she was previously, before we even discussed this, Googling what EDM is.
Gosh, that makes me happy. I love it.
Electronic dance music.
I can't wait to get old enough that I can start trying to dress younger so that I look younger and look like I'm trying to dress younger.
But don't you look older by trying to dress younger when you're older?
That's the idea, is that I'm going to look even more lame than I ever have by dressing younger when I get older.
And you're
even
excited
more
for
lame
it.
than I ever have. Write that down.
I can't wait for that time either, Ryan.
Candy, have you noticed Ryan's looking extra lame lately? Is he trying to look like he's in his 40s instead of his 50s? What is it about that?
But see, that conversation would happen behind my back. I'm only worried about what
Katie,
people say to me,
Ryan,
which is
you
they'll be
think-
like, man, you're so fun lately, Ryan.
I think
What's the-
that Katie
what's
and
the
I
deal?"
have a lot of conversations about you behind your back, which is actually not true at all.
Everything we got to say, we say it to your face.
Yeah, not just to your face, but to St. Louis.
Yeah. It's always nice to know that people don't care about you.
No, not at all. We care enough to go straight to the source. I want to reassure you that Katie and I don't have like.
I want to reassure
these
you that we
we
don't think about you very often.
This is a lose-lose situation. It appears either we do or we don't talk about you behind your back. And we don't. And if we did, it wouldn't be about what you're wearing. It would be about things of substance.
Well, that's weird because Katie and I, when we talk, I'm like, have you thought about Annie lately? And she's like, yeah, actually, I have. Been. Here's my thoughts.
In my mid-30s, I'm way past caring what people say about me behind my back. there was a time in my life where that would have consumed me, and I've gone through enough things this far, and I assume that I'm going to go through enough things in the future that if you're talking about me, then I must have some space in your brain. And if that's good, fantastic. If it's bad, then I'm sorry that I hurt you that way. Moving on, like I can't care about it. I just got to do the best I can. I want to shift gears here real quick and talk about Ice Cube, because last week we were discussing the contract with Black America. And if you haven't read through this, I encourage you to do so, because the contract with Black America is a proposal that Ice Cube has put together. And he's explicitly saying, this is not for people of color. This is for Black Americans. And, I have heard a lot of politicos discussing how in many cases, Black Americans feel disenfranchised by the idea of, the idea that people of color all together have the same interests. So, like, suggesting that all white people have the same interests, it's a little short-sighted and a little shallow, don't you think? There are a lot of white people in our country who have different interests than other white people in our country. And then to suggest that because your skin is not white, therefore you are a person of color, that they all have the same interests, that's just not exactly true. And each of the cultures have different priorities and perspectives and probably political wants and asks. And so when Ice Cube came out with his contract with Black America, he shared it with the Biden campaign. He shared it with the Trump campaign. The Biden campaign said, looks great. I would like to talk to you about this after the election. And the Trump campaign said, looks great. Let's sit down and discuss it. Do you have some time? So Ice Cube went and sat down with the Trump campaign to discuss his contract with Black America, which I'm telling you folks, when you read through it, it is not a Republican conservative platform. And I'm sure that before the Trump campaign said, yes, let's sit down and discuss this, they read through it and they knew that. But they still invited Ice Cube to sit down and discuss it. Shouldn't that say something to people who are looking at what is available to them, and also this constant drumbeat that's out there that your skin color will somehow dictate the way you're going to vote? That's kind of the whole point of what Ice Cube is trying to say here. And listen to his comments here regarding, hold on a second, I think I clicked the wrong one, regarding what political parties have to offer specifically Black Americans.
So, I think the Democrats, they got every Black celebrity on their team, so they just figure, tell Q to shut up and vote. And so I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna push the program.
So I ain't gonna do that. He's suggesting here that if what the Democrats think is shut up and vote, and then we can discuss what we can do for you after we win the election, Ice Cube says, I ain't gonna do that. This is seismic. I don't know if it's going to have the effect immediately in this election. You've got Kanye West putting out a strong campaign right now for people to write in his name. How many people are going to be like, oh, fine, I'll vote for you instead of Trump? And how many people are going to be like, oh, you ain't Black, or write in Kanye's name? Think I might send a message here and write in Kanye's name. There is something taking place right now where Americans are starting to look at what they've been getting for their vote, and they're reacting differently than they have before. And the idea that Ice Cube, because he put together this contract with Black America, would sit down with the Trump administration and somehow or another be betraying his community of sorts, is pretty short-sighted.
Who knows what's really going to happen after November 3rd? Nobody knows from each side. We're all hoping that candidates keep their campaign promises. So that's just it.
So let's look at it this way. I think that you're right to be skeptical. Let's start with the Democrats, because even though there is a traditional connection between Black voters and the Democrats, you could also say you've been let down or forgotten by Democrats in a lot of situations that would have mattered.
Did Chris Cuomo just admit that the Democrats have let down Black people and suggest that you do need to get something for your vote? Did Chris Cuomo on CNN just admit that? Mm-hmm. Did Ice Cube finally get on CNN because Cuomo canceled on him the night before and then rebooked him for the following night? Did Chris Cuomo just say that Black Americans should be skeptical about what Democrats have promised them in the past? And that Ice Cube is on to something that they need to be pressed because the vote isn't something that is just a given? Because I think Ice Cube did get him to say that.
Then you say, all right, so then what makes one side better than the other? That's where you get in trouble.
Wait, that's where you get in trouble, Ice Cube, for what? In trouble for what? You've just admitted, Chris Cuomo, that you've got to be able to get something for your vote, that vote isn't an automatic thing, that vote that the Black American is going to cast shouldn't be as simple as, if you don't vote for me, as a white old dude, I get to tell you that you ain't Black. I'm sorry, I didn't know that Joe Biden was the dealer of Black cards in America, and that he was able to rescind them from anybody who didn't vote as he told them to. I mean, that sounds like a kind of enslavement in and of itself. Who the heck does Joe Biden think he is to be able to dictate the qualifications for being Black in America based on who you vote for? I really do believe that comment by Joe Biden has caused a seismic shift in how Americans think.
Which is, do you really think that Donald Trump can be trusted as much as you could trust Joe Biden?
I don't think I'm not trusting any of them. I'm just going by action. That's all I'm going by. I'm not going by words. I'm not going by rhetoric, not going by media spin, not going by none of that. You know, I'm not on nobody's team. I'm not on team.
When he says he's not on anybody's team here, you know what he's really saying? I'm not on the Democrats' team, because nobody, Ice Cube isn't all of a sudden going to just be like, yeah, Republican. I mean, what Kanye West did, there was an amount of time that took place where Kanye West tweeted out simply, "I like the way she thinks," regarding Candace Owens. And then he backed that up with suggesting that she thought for herself. His support for the president over the course of time was a public display that was evolving. And it's ebbed and flowed over the course of time as well. Suggesting that Ice Cube is going to now become like a MAGA hat wearing Republican supporter, we don't know that. And if you read the contract with Black America that he's put out, that he's trying to get people to pay attention to, it is not something that conservative Republicans are going to pick up and implement in whole. But the Republicans had their minds open. They were willing to sit down and have a discussion. And the Democrats said, not only did the Democrat candidate say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black, they said, you will vote for me and then we will have a discussion about it.
Team blue, not on team red.
So then I have that wrong.
Hold on, I'm an independent person. And I believe that's what Black people need to do, is become independent. And we need to get something for our vote. You know, that may not happen, but it's going to happen.
It's got to happen.
So then Chris Cuomo follows up on this, and he ends up, the most important clarification that Chris Cuomo wants to get across here is that Ice Cube is not on Team Trump. That is the most important thing for Cuomo's viewers to understand.
An enormous wealth gap that keeps growing. It's not getting smaller. Do the research, and you'll see this is the problem in America. It's because Black people have no capital. We own half of a point when it comes to all the wealth in America. Half of a point. 13.5% people living off half of a point. We cannot survive in America another 100 years living like this.
The issue is real. The problem is properly identified. They do have access to capital of about $500 billion, but it doesn't say that it would be earmarked within the Trump plan for communities of color.
So here you have Chris Cuomo looking at what the Trump campaign in the Platinum Plan, which was put together with the advisement of Ice Cube. You've got Cuomo criticizing what the Republicans have put in their Platinum Plan. Cuomo now do Biden. Oh, that's right. Biden said, I'm not going to talk to you until after the election. There is a plan that Ice Cube was allowed to advise upon from the Republican Party. The Republican Party, folks, not the Democrat Party. You can critique the Republican plan that exists to invest in Black America and to give them extra opportunity to succeed in this country, because a plan actually exists. The plan on the Democrats' part, legit, we'll discuss it after the election. You got to be kidding me.
But we'll see what you can get done. And I make you this promise. Not just because I'm a fan, but the issue matters. As you learn and as you see action and reaction or inaction, you have a place on this show to discuss it. That's a guarantee.
I appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, I'll be back to discuss and let you know what I know, what I find out. But I'm gonna give it to you straight up.
You know, when you listen to what Ice Cube is doing here, he's unbought. This guy has not sold himself, and he is telling America that he's not for sale. He has something to say, and he needs people who are willing to listen. Nothing happens until people are willing to listen. I'm challenging you to go and look up the contract with Black America and read through it. And I am reiterating that there is an enormity to this that I would not agree to, that I don't think is what would be best for Americans, no matter their color. But I wanted to read it so I could speak on it from an educated standpoint. And I read through it, and there were things that were pointed out in there from a perspective that I don't have in my life that require me to listen to the other side to hear what they're saying. And I'll tell you, there are things that Ice Cube has said in this contract with Black America that I would put differently, or that if I were having that conversation with him, I would challenge, not from the foundational truth that exists, but how when I add in my perspective from it, I see it a little bit differently, like the idea of a wage gap or a wealth gap, I believe. Is there a wealth gap between white America and Black America? It's statistically provable that there is, but I want it to be I want it to be called an opportunity gap, and I want to close that opportunity gap so that every Black boy and Black girl that is born in this country knows that they have the same opportunities as any white kid that's born in this country. And if there's anything that's hindering that, I want to remove those hindrances so that the opportunity is the same. And then the American thing is, you get to make what you want out of it. You get the opportunity to succeed, and you get the opportunity to try again if you fail. And that's colorblind. It sure should be. Look at what this president and this Trump administration and this Trump campaign has put together in the Platinum Plan. Look at what's being asked in the contract with Black America, and you will see the intersections that exist there. Now go find Biden's plan. It doesn't exist. Because Biden's plan for Black America is vote for me. It'll all be okay. And unfortunately, he's been saying that for 47 years. I think people are waking up. Let's take a quick break. We'll discuss it when we come back.
I'm not gonna lay around.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
Cause somebody done
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
I'm gonna sit around and sing some old sad song.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality, water heater, and AeroSeal duct sealing services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
Our Congressman Blaine Luetkemeyer still believes in our America, not a radical shift to failed socialism. Blaine knows the path to a faster economic recovery and higher wages is what worked for our families before the shutdowns.
Less regulations, lower taxes, and you saw the economy rebound at historic pace. We wound up with 1.2 million more jobs than we had people to fill them.
And Blaine Luetkemeyer knows the real China.
They've proven that they can't be trusted on trade. Militarily, I really don't think that we need to trust them on anything anymore.
And Blaine wants to bring those China supply lines back home to create high-paying jobs here.
There's an opportunity there for a lot of the small businesses in my district to take on additional manufacturing loads. There's an opportunity to bring back more jobs.
And Blaine Luetkemeyer stands with us on our side for law and order, for good-paying jobs, and for America's future.
I'm Blaine Luetkemeyer, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Blaine for Congress.
Air Comfort Service. Oh man, it's a little chilly out there right now, isn't it? At least it was earlier today. Air Comfort Service is there waiting for your phone call. If you need that furnace tune-up, don't put it off until it crashes or something crazy. You know, who knows? I don't know anything about HVAC. I don't know anything about how to go tinker or fix something that's wrong if I don't think the furnace is heating the way it's supposed to. That's why I called. That's why when we had an issue this summer with the air conditioner, we were like, what's that Air Comfort number again? 314-513-0091. It's a really good one to have put in your phone right now. Maybe you don't need their service right now, but you might this winter. You might need to get maintenance done to make sure that your warranty stays intact. Air Comfort Service is a call away, and they can help get you back into your comfort zone very quickly and very conscientiously. 314-513-0091. Right now, if you are looking for an opportunity to replace your furnace, you can get 0% financing for up to 72 months and carrier cool cash rebates up to $1,650. That's a pretty great opportunity for you as well. Check them out. 314-513-0091 online at aircomfortservice.com.
At Spire, we know the value that natural gas brings to the communities we serve, from a hot shower after a long day to the warmth and comfort of a cozy home. And we know that in any year, some of us struggle to make ends meet. But this year isn't just any year. If you're struggling to pay your natural gas bill, we're here to help. Our dedicated team of community support specialists is ready to help identify the assistance program that's right for you. To learn more, call us or visit us online at spireenergy.com/assistance.
Mark Cox here. There's a lot going on in real estate right now. If you're planning to sell, who do you call and trust to get the most money for your home safely and hassle-free? I've got your answer. It is Gloria Liu with GL International Realty, part of the Coldwell Banker Premier Group. Listen, there's a difference between just getting your home sold and getting it done right. Getting your home sold means getting more money in your pocket, not just getting the house sold. Gloria nets her sellers 3% more than the average agent on a $300,000 home. That's $9,000 more in your pocket. Call Gloria. Let her show you how she puts that exclusive database of over 9,000 ready buyers to work for you. Your home may already be sold. Better yet, Gloria will guarantee to sell your home, or she'll buy it herself in writing. Call Gloria Liu today, 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Are you sick and tired of your janitorial company not meeting your expectations? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis, the commercial cleaning company you can count on. Have you had it with your cleaning guys not showing up? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis to get the job done. The Jan Pro cleaning and disinfection process guarantees satisfaction for a wide range of industries and budgets through quality, technology, and a measurement for a consistent clean every time. Tired of no follow-up? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis, 314-989-9977. Trusted, clean, guaranteed.
The Dave Glover Show.
No, I think no one should want to be a congressperson for any reason other than service. They shouldn't be making a lot of money, and they certainly shouldn't be able to insider trade, which they can now do again legally.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
I remember the days of just keeping time, of hanging around.
So can I ask you to do me a favor? Suburban women, will you please like me?
You gotta be kidding me. Just getting straight to the point.
Come on.
Yeah, he doesn't beat around the bush much.
You get Joe Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, and Donald Trump begging suburbs. Like I'm not even going to say the things that I think you want to hear, or that all of my advisors say this. It'll play really well with the suburban women. He says, suburban women, will you please like me? I'm like, yeah, I do. I like you.
I'm glad you're being upfront with your feelings.
It's so funny.
The demographics show me I need you. Please vote for me.
He was out in front. I guess was he boarding a plane or something,
Yes.
Katie?
Yep.
And he's taken some questions from reporters. Let's listen in here real quick to see some of what he had to say.
With what?
They trying to have the moderator be able to turn off the mics? Is that what
I have no idea. I'm doing this. What am I doing to prepare? I'm doing this. I've done very well in debates, and you do what you do. You just do what you do. The last debate I had 2-on-1. I usually have 2-on-1 at least, and I did well on the last debate, and we did well with Savannah Guthrie based on reports. But all you can do is look. You go around. We do interviews with you. This is like I call this debate prep. This is actually tougher than a debate. If you want to know the truth.
Will you do the testing before the debate, and will you authorize? Will you do the testing before the debate, and will you? Yes, the COVID testing. And will you authorize your doctors to tell us when?
Sure, I would have no problem with it.
So he's boarding his next flight, and they're saying, "What are you doing to prepare for the debate?" I'm doing this. I'm actually talking to people and taking questions. You can ask me whatever you want, and I have to come up with an answer. Where's Joe Biden? That's what I would ask. Where is he? Oh, he's... First of all, you guys, how do you feel about this phrase, called a lid? I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I'm tired of it too.
I've just learned it this season. So
Same. But that's why I don't like it. Like, it's like somebody said it, and then it was like the cool new lingo. I hate lingo. I don't know if you're seeing a
trend.
I don't like when people like create new phrases and then everybody is like looking for opportunities to say the cool new phrase.
I felt so stupid because whenever they started saying that phrase, I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard that before.
That stinks because I think cool new phrases are pretty jiggy.
Yeah. What about old cool phrases?
I don't participate in those.
What about being in your 40s dressing like you're 19?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Look, you guys are going to be real shocked when I show up at the debate party on Thursday night with my cool baggy pants and my skateboard and my sunglasses.
You get to like dress as Antifa?
Man, I'm going to be holding the Molotov cocktail. I hope you'll let me in.
My daughter's going to answer and be like, Ryan's here. He looks silly.
I'm just going to throw that Molotov cocktail.
You need to show up with some like backwards overalls. Isn't that crisscross in the late 80s, early 90s?
Golly.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we've been doing weird things our entire lives.
What's
How come they don't seem as weird in the moment?
I don't know.
Maybe they just do to old people.
Yeah,
and maybe I'm now
older.
the old people.
Yeah.
2020, everything's crazy.
Joe Biden called a lid at 9 a.m. today, and we'll have a lid all week until the debate. I'm like, no, stop it. Speak in English.
Just be like Trump and say what you mean.
I agree with you almost 100% of the time on the lingo stuff, but for some reason, lid is so new to me that I'm like, oh, lid. That's cool. Lid.
You just explained exactly what I just said about why I hated it.
I know.
Because I'm like, oh, it's a cool new word. Let's take it out for a spin.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
But if it's internal dialogue, this isn't just like pop culture stuff. It was what they always used that now just crossed over into mainstream. That's why I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah, if it's okay, you call it shop talk or whatever.
Yeah.
There are things. So there are things that we do in radio or in broadcasting. It irks me when those words get used on the air. Like if I ever say something that is that is lingo that we would understand that maybe you wouldn't. When you're communicating with somebody, you need to speak in the language they understand. And if you think that saying words that is like an insider, if you think that makes you look cool, that's douchey. I don't know. I don't
think
love
that
it.
makes me look cool, and I am a bit of a douche.
No, you are not,
But
Ryan.
let me run this one by you. You can tell me whether you think this is insider stuff or not. When I was in music radio, they told me that I could not use the word single to describe a new song. Like, here's so-and-so's new single.
Why?
Because apparently that's insider lingo.
Well, no, I get it. You could just say song and people know that. And a single, and that's kind of interesting because that's in the days where albums were discussed more
Right.
than now.
And downloads. Yeah.
Which I'm really glad. That's an enormously amazing segue that you didn't know you're doing. I just got a text from my sister-in-law. And she said, listening to your show while my nephew naps in the car reminded me, when is your co-host Katie's Christmas album coming out? Number one fan.
Oh, wow. I don't know what to say.
The people need to know. Number one fan. That's it. That's the tweet. That's another one. Oh, it makes me crazy. I don't like it.
So
See,
sweet.
When is it? When is your album coming out?
I don't know.
We should
I
make
feel
an
like I'm
album. Can
on
we
the
make an
spot.
album?
Yes. Heck yeah.
Ryan, you
Yeah.
write 2020 parody Christmas songs and Katie can sing them and we could put it out.
Mm-hmm.
We could even put out a single.
I'll do that. I've always wanted to do a Christmas album, but here's the deal. If I do it, I get to name the album.
Oh.
But it has all of our names tagged onto it.
No, it's just going to be
No, it
Katie
doesn't.
Fitzpatrick.
I didn't say my name.
And the,
was on
and the
it.
name
You're
of the
on
album
it
would
too,
be
Annie. That's how we
Nog.
promote it.
N-O-G Nog. That's the name of your album.
I think we could do this.
That'd be really fun.
I'll play it. It's all acoustic. I'll play the guitar
Mhm.
on it because Christmas songs are easy to play. Yes, I play the guitar, but yes, I play like maybe 6 or 7 chords comfortably. And if it has something in there that I don't immediately know, I just skip that song.
You also play the piano.
Yeah.
Do
I
they
can do
have to
piano.
be Christmas songs that we're making into parodies, or can I make a regular song into a Christmas song as a parody?
No, if it's a Christmas album, don't do that.
Don't get it
If it's a
twisted.
Christmas album, it needs to be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah, it needs to be.
Annie, your name has to be on this. That is the only way people are going to be interested. You've got to be on it. I'm sorry.
Thinking about doing Comfortably Numb, but about mistletoe and calling it Comfortably Hung.
No, Katie, my name will not be on this. That's official. Maybe
And
here's
the idea is done.
Two points to your point, Katie. Two counterpoints is that if we want people to know about it and those types of ideas are happening, I don't want my name on it. And if my name isn't on it, then maybe nobody will know about it.
Eddie Fry brings you Comfortably Hung.
By the chimney. Care.
I'm sorry. I hope my nephew is still sleeping.
I also want to do all like kind of downer, depressing songs.
Okay, Ryan's off the project.
I was gonna say, Ryan, you can float ideas out there, and Katie and I will refine them, which is usually what happens anyway.
That's fair. Yeah, what's new?
Yeah, if my name is going to be anywhere near this, you know what this should be? It should be a Christmas 2020 Christmas album. The Mark Cox Morning Show. There we go. That's what we have it. And you guys can just put it together and we'll put it out there and we'll just give this. That'll be our Christmas gift to Mark Cox and Trisha and Denise.
Then they throw it in a corner and never listen to it.
You could get Denise to sing on it. She's classically trained. She's amazing.
Yeah.
This is happening.
All right.
I'll just be a happy fan. Thanks, Meg, for the idea. Fantastic. We'll be right back.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. With all the bad news out there, it's easy to miss the good news. Mortgage rates are at historic lows, making now a great time to buy or refinance a home. My customers are locking in the best rates in a generation. Now is the time to use the equity in your home to cash out for a remodel, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or rid yourself of the dreaded PMI. During these volatile times, you need an experienced local loan officer working for you. Call me, Michael Mohan, at 314-336-6050. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you talk to me. Whether you are purchasing or refinancing, I want to help you save money on your home loan. Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, 314-336-6050. Online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, NMLS 250-353-224-143.
Goodwill wants to help you celebrate the holidays at Six Flags. Donate your car to Goodwill. You'll get a tax receipt and 4 free tickets to Six Flags Holiday in the Park, featuring thrilling rides, tasty treats, and exciting family entertainment for the holiday season. Support a good cause. Donating is easy and towing is free. For more information or to donate online, visit mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Six Flags. Hurry while supplies last. Valid only for Holiday in the Park. Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill.
If you are looking for a home warranty, please check out my friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. You know, that maintenance part of their title is extremely important. Most home warranty companies out there want to deny your claim due to lack of maintenance. They claim you haven't been taking care of your equipment over time, so they don't have to help you out. Well, at Upkeep, they completely eliminate that worry by sending their own technicians out to your home 4 times a year to do the general maintenance for you. And if you ever need service done, they will either repair or replace your equipment, and that work is also being done by an Upkeep employee. It's not a third-party contractor trying to upsell you. Their plans are extremely affordable. You can even divide your payments up over the 12 months of the year. And when you use code DGS, you get $100 off your service. To check out all of their different home warranty plans, go to their website, upkeepstl.com. That's upkeepstl.com.
Rotting wood on your windows not only looks terrible, but it also causes your windows to function poorly. That can mean leaks and drafts and sometimes mold. 3 things you definitely want to avoid. As you begin your research, remember, Infinity from Marvin Fiberglass Windows by Lakeside Renovation and Design are the most durable material, protecting your home and family from stuck, leaking, and rotting windows. All backed by a limited lifetime product and service warranty. Replacement windows that are built to last a lifetime. Infinity from Marvin Fiberglass Windows by Lakeside.
KFTK FM Florissant. K254CR St. Louis. Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group. 97.1 FM Talk. A radio.com station.
A morale boost on the campaign trail. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. The president keeps adding to his campaign schedule, about to hold the first of 2 rallies in Arizona today. But earlier, he offered an upbeat assessment to campaign workers. Fox's John Decker is live in Washington.
President Trump in a conference call with campaign staff expressing confidence that he'll win the presidential election on November 3rd.
We're going to win. I wouldn't have said that 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I wouldn't have said it. It was tougher for me.
Most national polls in key battleground states show the president trailing former Vice President Joe Biden, the president telling his campaign staff to ignore them and claiming he may even win in New Hampshire, New Mexico, and Minnesota, 3 states he lost in 2016. Lisa?
Thanks, John. Well, the president today also questioning the advice of White House task force Dr. Anthony Fauci after Fauci publicly criticized a campaign ad that uses a clip of him. Vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris keeping up Joe Biden's attacks on the president's pandemic response.
He had inside information. He knew that this virus was 5 times more deadly than the flu.
She's in Florida as Biden takes some time to prepare for Thursday's final debate. The same Russian group accused of interfering in the 2016 election is now charged with hacking a variety of targets, including U.S. hospitals and businesses, and the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea, where Russian athletes were banned because of a state-sponsored doping effort.
Election activities were but one part of the work of a persistent, sophisticated hacking group busy sabotaging perceived enemies or detractors of the Russian Federation.
Assistant Attorney General John Demers, the suspects charged are 6 current and former Russian military officials. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
A November feel to the air on this Monday afternoon. It's cloudy, it's chilly, a couple of showers from time to time. 49-50, that's it for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, 43. Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, a couple of spot showers, but limited rain on Tuesday, 65. Wednesday, clouds continue to be around 72, and Thursday's a warm one, 85 and humid. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
How do you know when someone is in the extreme? Would you know? For State Senator Jill Shoup, it's easy to tell. Maybe it's because she voted against a constitutional amendment making it easier to prosecute child sex offenders. Prosecutors argued it would be a powerful tool to go after sexual predators who target innocent children. And voters passed it overwhelmingly, with more than 70% of the vote. But Jill Shoup voted no. And when she had the chance, Shoup voted against bipartisan legislation requiring the state to report illegal immigrant sex offenders to federal authorities. Each time she voted no, who was Jill Shoup protecting? Maybe it's hard to tell if someone is in the extreme, but when it comes to Jill Shoup, it's pretty easy. You just look at her record. NRCC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.nrcc.org.
Retirement Advisory Group is online at retirementkey.com. And this is our friend Thomas Helbig. Man, he has helped so many people. The last Protecting Your Retirement event that took place, I got a message from one of the Annie Fry Show listeners that was talking about how she had taken her mom, I believe it was, to this event and just was so grateful for all of the amazing information that was provided. Thomas Helbig really knows what he's doing, and he's talking to you. You who are very close to retirement, you're in your late 50s, you're in your early 60s, maybe mid 60s, and retirement is around the corner. You've busted your tail to save for retirement. You wanted to make sure that you could retire on your terms. And with the world the way it is right now, you never really know what the stock market is going to do, go up, go down. Thomas can help you absorb all of the benefits of an up stock market and protect you from the downs. I don't know how he does it. That's why he's going to talk to you about it, not me, of course. And that's why you're going to call him, set up a free consultation like so many other Annie Fry Show listeners have. Call him, mention that you heard about him on the Annie Fry Show and say, I'd like to get set up. I'd like to hear what you have to say. 855-755-1555. That's 855-755-1555. retirementkey.com.
Hey guys, Clever here for my friends at Window World. And let me just take a moment to say thank you to Window World. I'm not sure how many of the 20 years they've been with me, but most of them. They are great people, just great guys, and have been very good to me and taking care of thousands of DGS listeners. So Window World, thank you for the bigger part of 20 years with the DGS. What I love about Window World is the simplicity. Honestly, it's just they make it so easy. There are other replacement window companies in town. We're one of only 2 in the nation that have a good housekeeping seal of approval. Any award that you can win within our industry, we have won. The prices are very modest, very affordable. We give you a lifetime warranty and a lifetime guarantee because we know that our windows are built like a tank. You can depend on saving about 1/3 off your heating and cooling bills 12 months out of the year. Mention me for 18 months, same as cash, 314-993-1800 or windowworld.com, 314-993-1800, windowworld.com.
97.1 FM Talk is on the radio and online on your smart speaker, on your phone, and streaming anytime at 971talk.com. Find it all at radio.com. 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long. Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I can't vote for any Democrats because they are left. My faith will not allow me to do that. They are anti-life. I always want life. I don't want babies to be killed. I love the way my president talked about Jesus last night. That blew my mind. I can't. When he has his rough edges, he's not a perfect man. And I love the way he expressed himself. He doesn't mind words. He says things the way he loves it. And some people don't like that. But he blew my mind last night, and I was weeping like a baby when he said, Jesus Christ is the boss. Is the boss.
Is the boss. Jesus Christ is the boss. This is a voter who happens to be black who was at one of these events with Donald Trump, and I didn't hear Trump say Jesus Christ is the boss, but that's pretty cool. Must be getting close to the election. I got Chad in here, as we always do. Chad is a producer on 97.1, and we like to have him come in here and just kind of talk about the election, the process that we're going through here in 2020 as we are 15 days away from not voting day, because people are voting right now, but just this election as a whole will end-ish in 15 days, and we will hopefully, gosh, wouldn't it be nice, Chad, if on November 3rd, if we had an answer, if it was 11 p.m. and we had an answer? You don't think it's going to happen?
I don't think it's going to happen, especially because the mail-in ballots.
What's your prediction, Chad? You're paying as close attention to this as any of us here at 97.1. What do
I
you
give
think
it
is going to happen?
beginning of December, we find out.
Oh man.
That's like rough ballpark. We'll find out in December, but hopefully middle of November. Not the next day like normal.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are worried about that. And I think a lot of people have a lot of trust issues with the people who are handling this election, the balloting. It's so frustrating to me that in October of 2020 and even September and maybe some of August as well, there's so much discussion and challenges and changing of the way that we're voting. And I understand that it's because of COVID, so that poses some sort of additional challenge. You want to make sure that people have the opportunity to vote and that nothing gets in their way. But it's like, could we have thought of this a little bit earlier? Like, why are we discussing this when the court cases that are going to arise out of this are going to be decided after the election happens? Chad, what's your confidence level in our ability as a country to be able to pull this election off?
Well, we have no choice. So I mean, it's gonna look rough at the beginning, probably at the end as well, but we got it. We've come this far. We've come through a lot of different things that were kind of controversial in this country. Honestly, this country lives off controversy, so we'll be all right.
So, Chad, have you followed Ice Cube and his effort here with the contract with Black America and what he has done with it so far?
I was just actually taking a look at it. I'm not really like too up on it because it's like another celebrity is talking about politics. So I'm not trying to like discredit Ice Cube at all, but it's just like Cardi B at this point to me. Like every celebrity has something to say. It's interesting. He's on the other side of what normal Black celebrities are, but I still haven't really paid too much close attention to it.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing to me, just from an observer standpoint, obviously, is that he's advocating for an outcome, not for a person. And when he's put this contract with Black America together, which is something that I've read the whole thing, and there is way more in it that I disagree with as a solution to some of these problems than I agree with it. But it did give me a really good perspective on what somebody like Ice Cube is trying to get done. And I think it's important to have, educated conversations about these kind of topics for somebody like me who I'm not living the life. I mean, Ice Cube's got infinitely more money than I do, infinitely more influence than I do. So to suggest that somehow or another my skin color and his skin color still makes him default, in some cultural importance level below me is ridiculous. And I've always seen that as ridiculous. I don't see skin color as a precursor to anybody's value. And I hope and I believe that the majority of America feels that way. But if people do feel disenfranchised, and if there are conversations that are taking place regarding that, I want to know what the other side is thinking so that I can be educated on it. And this was ultimately the outcome of Ice Cube taking his contract with Black America to both the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign. And the Trump campaign sat down with him. They said, "We love what you have here. Will you sit down with us and discuss it?" And then the Trump campaign took some of the parts of what Ice Cube put together and put it in the Platinum Plan. And the Platinum Plan is the Trump campaign's effort to try to help with Black America and continue to push them into the game so they have the same opportunities. And the Biden campaign said, "Love what you have, but we'll talk with you about it after the election." Listen to what Ice Cube said about Democrats here.
So, I think the Democrats, they got every Black celebrity on their team, so they just figure, tell Cube to shut up and vote. And so I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna push the program.
So I was really like that. Just the way he was handling this seemed in a way to be a little bit different to me than, this suggestion that you might hear from a Cardi B. Katie, you're super more connected to these celebrities and what they're saying and doing, which is the idea that you're just supposed to make a plan to show up and vote for Joe Biden. Like that's the culmination of where they go. He's doing it from the other end. He's putting together a plan and advocating for a plan and then taking it to whomever can help him exercise his plan and get it off the ground. regardless of what that plan is, it's refreshing to me that he's taking this kind of approach.
It's honestly refreshing to me as well, to see someone that's holding these politicians accountable for their actions, as well as, if you want our vote, why should we vote for you guys, and what is going to make us actually believe that you're going to hold up the standard of making it better or making it less strenuous for Black people to get certain things done in this country. Actually, I had a friend that was proposing this same thing, like basically saying that we should all come together as people and basically sell our vote, like basically, because that's what's happening anyway. When you go to these political campaign parties and things like that, that's kind of what's happening. So therefore, looking at the bank lending reforms and things of that nature that is in this contract, I believe that this is a great step. I don't think reparations is going to happen and things of that nature, but more opportunities, guaranteed opportunities and things like that has to happen. A lot of people say like, oh, it's not as bad as it seems and things of that nature, but that's outside looking in. You've never been turned down for an apartment, a car, or a home because of the color of your skin, and you can even have better credit, a better job than other counterparts that get approved, and you still, and like better payment history and everything, and you still get denied. And at this point you're like, well, what is the point of me being denied? And they have no answer for you. This has happened to me on a couple occasions, but it was like, well, I'm the type of person that doesn't take no for an answer. So if you can't tell me yes, then you can't tell me no. That's my mindset. So with seeing Ice Cube, a person that makes over $450,000 a year, being realistic about, no, I'm not just going to say I'm going to vote for Biden, because he's literally telling me I'm going to be one of the people that is going to be taxed. And I was just telling a couple small business owners, like, look, you're going to be, the most you're making is about 450,000, give or take. So if you want to go up in revenue for your company, how is voting for Biden going to help? And then a lot of people don't have an answer, and they keep on hitting you with that same thing. Anybody but Trump, anybody but Trump. But so you're saying anybody can destroy your business because you don't like somebody's the way they conduct themselves as a person, and not how they conduct themselves with their policies and how they're actually running the country. And like, it's starting to get annoying to me. Like, they're blaming COVID on Trump so much, they lose the fact that Trump has bettered the economy than the last 3 presidents that's been in the White House.
Yeah.
So all of these career politicians have literally failed us. And the celebrity politician has done quite more, to me, to benefit this country as anybody has done for a long time.
See, that's what I was going to ask you, Chad. Whenever I saw these clips of Ice Cube talking to Chris Cuomo or just doing an Instagram live or whatever, the hate that he gets from the comments after he posts something like this is unreal to me, because I think that this is an easy answer. Like, this is an easy answer to be like, wow, Ice Cube is doing a really great thing and he's trying to speak for the community and help better it. So why do you think that he is getting so much flack and so much pushback from people on Twitter or people on Facebook? Because to me, this is something that you listen to the way he speaks and you're like, okay, he's trying to make a difference. And he's straight up saying, I don't have a political party. The person that I'm going to go to is the person that's going to help me out. That's going to actually listen. So why is he getting so much pushback for it? Is it just because he went to Trump?
He's getting pushback because of ignorance. The definition of ignorance is to not know. And a lot of people are going to their favorite CNN host and things like that to kind of cushion what they think they believe in. I was having a conversation with one of my friends' fathers, and he was like, you want to vote for someone that's getting rid of abortion? I said, absolutely. You should hold people more accountable. And that kind of flustered him. And I was like, yeah, I vote for somebody that's going to hold me accountable and not let me have an escape route every time I make a mistake. Like unplanned pregnancies were just wrap it up.
Or just basically anything that the
Yeah, it's
Democrats are
like-
providing is like, well, you can't handle it yourself. Let me handle
And
it.
exactly. And as a person that is a Christian, quite honestly, nothing that the Democratic Party has to offer aligns with my beliefs. And that's a problem that I have as well. I don't believe in the fact that you can just live free range and do any and everything that you want to do with no consequence. And I'm sorry to say, if the Bible says it's wrong, then I'm here to say that it's wrong too. And I'm not just going to say, well, I want to be free. I want to do any and everything I want to do. And I'm going to go against everything I believe in just to pick a president that doesn't have anything to say besides
pandering.
If you're not black, if you don't vote for me. And just like on the town hall, they hammered him about that, but they didn't really show that on CNN. They showed it on Fox a little bit. But they hammered him for that. And to basically saying like, how dare you tell someone who they are because of their political views, and they can see through you. They can, like, I've had so many people tell me that they don't trust Biden at all. And his vice president candidate didn't really make it any better. And the sarcasm, the stares of the death stares and all that kind of stuff in the debate just made it like, well, this is exactly, I don't want to be scolded for making a decision. I don't want to be scolded for being able to speak. And as a man, especially a black man, we already don't have that much freedom anyway. So therefore, if you're going to say if a man says something to you, it's mansplaining and things of that nature, and you're not going to talk to me, you're not going to tell me this and that, that's alarming to me. That's alarming to me extremely, because okay, now men have to be on guard for every and anything that they do, because it's gonna be took as, oh, we're demeaning women. In all reality, he was checking her on her lies. It was like, okay, you say things like you're not going to change things on the Green New Deal, and we look at the website and it literally says it right there. Like literally. And it's like, okay, now what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to believe what you guys are putting on your website? Like, this is what you stand for?
Oh, what you're writing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that kind of keeps me on the edge a little bit.
Laura on our YouTube channel, go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and subscribe to us there and participate in the chat, says 100% agree with you, Chad. Thank you, with a whole bunch of exclamation points. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to get more with Chad when we come back. If you have a question that you would like to ask Chad or a comment you want to make on this discussion, you can do that at that YouTube page. Just join the chat there on our live broadcast, and we love to incorporate that into what we're discussing here. Charles on Facebook said, that is not what the stats say. Trump's final numbers match the Great Depression. Here's a question, folks. How stupid do we need to be to think that Donald Trump's efforts on the economy are just what they are right now? And that little pandemic that got in the way? Like, folks, come on. We are not nearly as dumb as you need us to be to vote for Joe Biden. At least I sure as heck not. I'm speaking for myself here, but we see what's going on here. And if you want to look at the numbers right now and not factor in the pandemic, look at the arc here. Look at the economy where it was, where the president built this economy up. COVID hits, and look at how much it has come back. We know what's happening. More reaction to this with Chad when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
I busted up my knee in Afghanistan, jumping out of a helicopter. I flew back to the States for surgery. I pushed myself to the max and busted it up again. I was told a medical discharge was an option. Then I had surgery at Mizzou Biojoint Center.
To see if MU Healthcare's Mizzou Biojoint Center is right for you, visit biojoint.com.
This November 3rd, be sure to finish your ballot and vote for your judges. Missouri's judicial system gives voters the final say in retaining their judges. So know your judges before you vote. Visit yourmissourijudges.org and learn about the nonpartisan judges up for retention this year. That's yourmissourijudges.org. It's up to you to help make sure we have skilled, fair, and impartial judges. Know your judges and finish the ballot proudly. Visit yourmissourijudges.org. Paid for by the Missouri Bar. Misha Epps, Executive Director.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. No one can predict what's going to happen, but almost all economists agree that you need to be locked in to your refinance before the election. Right now, the Federal Reserve is taking action, reducing interest rates down into the 2s. We can get you closed in as little as 30 days, and you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments. Start saving now. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
The first day of owning a new car is amazing. Fast forward to day 90, and if you own a Hyundai Tucson, it's still just as amazing. Which is why J.D. Power ranked it #1 in initial quality amongst all 2020 compact SUVs. The Hyundai Tucson, a great deal more than just a great deal.
Now get 0% APR for 72 months on the 2020 Tucson. See your local St. Louis Hyundai dealer or visit buyhyundai.com today. For J.D. Power 2020 award information, go to jdpower.com/awards. Offer ends November 2nd, 2020. Call 224-661-0068 for details.
Your energy needs are changing. That's why Ameren Missouri isn't waiting on the future. We're building it with a smart energy plan, advancing thousands of projects across the state. Here in St. Louis, we're adding new clean energy sources and installing new composite poles to better withstand storms. Moving Missouri closer to a future of energy centered around you. That's energy at work. Learn more at amerenmissouri.com/plan.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
The economy was booming. Business was thriving. But then the greatest health and economic crisis of our generation shook our country. Entrepreneurs asked, how will my business and employees survive? Insperity was built for times like this. Driven by our mission to help businesses succeed so communities prosper, we were there to help them navigate their way and ultimately rise above. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
The latest local forecast and severe weather coverage you can count on from the name in St. Louis weather.
This is 97.1's Chief Meteorologist, Dave Murray.
On 97.1 FM Talk, powered by Air Comfort Service.
I'm losing my self-control. Yeah, you're starting to trickle back in. But I don't want to fall down the rabbit hole. Cross my heart, I won't do it again.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Just got a post here. It says, Annie, any chance of Annie Fry Show merch by Christmas? I made a list for Santa, and that is on the list. I want to do that so badly. I need a partner in that. I need somebody who can help us from a printing standpoint do that. Obviously, COVID has hit a lot of businesses and companies really, really hard. But if I could work in conjunction with a printer somewhere,
I would be happy to create. I have a lot of ideas floating around in my head, and we have had t-shirts made before, and we could do those again. So if there's anybody out there who is a printer or has a hookup for something like that, can you please message the Facebook show, and we will work on stuff like that. I've got a lot of ideas, and that was something that before we all went home, that we were all working on that, and there was a budget for that, and it's just not on the list of things that are getting done right now. So just a general ask, if you're interested in some kind of partnership for that, please message the Annie Fry Show Facebook page, and you can also just reach out to us on the general Twitter, anywhere you want to. If you want to contact us, there's a million ways to do that. We've got Chad in here in the studio with us, and we're talking about, generally speaking, stuff that Ice Cube has proposed, but also voters and expectations in this political climate about how people are going to vote. And good grief, folks. I mean, if you're looking at the dissemination of information right now, Chad, I'm really curious to what you think about this, because it's nice to be able to have young folks on here who, or I should say younger folks on here who can speak to this, because there's a generational gap in social media and how people understand what works. I know that you're big on social media as well. What is your thought when you see how Twitter and Facebook are handling the Hunter Biden story? Now, Hunter Biden, I'm not talking specifically about that scandal, because it bred into this other scandal, which is the idea that Twitter said, no, you're not going to share that story. That
doesn't exist.
I mean, good grief. I don't have enough time in a 3-hour show to list off all of the other things that have been spread around Twitter that were obtained by illegal means, like Trump's tax returns, among many other things. The Melania tapes, that big story that came out where she was saying, like, they wanted the end story there to be that Melania Trump hates Christmas. That didn't stick very much, but that was something that was secretly recorded. They didn't stop anything like that. And that's just peanuts compared to the years and years of stuff that's been spread around. This big story gets put out there by Hunter Biden, and there's no challenge to the truth of it, the veracity of it. And Twitter says, no, you're not going to share it. I mean, being a millennial, as we all are here, does it concern you that big tech is out there and they have such power in what does get covered and what doesn't get covered?
It does concern me, because I've seen so many people get banned from Facebook and Twitter. My chapter even got their page snatched down for God knows what reason. They won't even give us a reason why. It's just gone. And then, like, they don't give you a notice. They just take your page down, and you try to log in, and it's like, it doesn't exist anymore. So sad for you. And then, like, even one of the guys that is a promoter, a sponsor for the Second Amendment Radio, a few of those guys have been snatched down before, just because one guy, it was a political joke that he posted years ago that came back up in his memories, and they snatched him down for that. There's a gun store supply store that's had everything snatched down, from the employees' personal pages to the store's page to even their PayPal account snatched down, just because they're not going with what Facebook and Twitter deems as their political side, I guess. It's kind of frustrating to me. Luckily, I haven't been banned yet. I wouldn't doubt that it's coming
time,
soon.
Chad. Just make it worth your time.
What kind of damage does that do to people our age who solely or heavily just rely on social media for news? What kind of damage does it do whenever there are people that are conservatives that are being blocked, that are being banned? And then whenever it gets brought to light, it's told as a conspiracy theory. I feel like it's very, very harmful for people that might not know too much about politics and are only getting it from one side.
Yeah, I definitely believe that it's gonna create the narrative of, okay, this is the only party that we see. This is the only party, the don't ask, don't tell. We live in that. And oh well, this is what I see, so this is what's true.
So you think people our age are just going to accept that and then move on?
A lot of the people our age don't really care. Unfortunately, they don't really care. They just going with the party that their grandparents voted for, and which is, I tell people not to do that all the time, because Especially like we can go back to the black voting. We were Republicans way before we were Democrats. Well, I'm not a Democrat, but the Democratic vote only switched here recently. I wouldn't even say it's been 30 to 40 years where black people weren't voting heavily Republican. So I think people need to do their research entirely. But unfortunately, Twitter is news. Twitter is the news because I mean everything hits Twitter first. That's why like I was removed from Twitter and I was like, oh, I'm getting stuff on Facebook, and it was like 2 and 3 days late. I was like, oh, better get back on Twitter so I can be up to date.
Chad, let me ask you a question. I hear you talking about party affiliation and stuff like that, but I also I've heard you talk about your policy positions quite a bit. You seem to lean further conservative than you do progressive, but there still seems to be a hesitancy to identify as Republican. Is that the case, or am I reading you wrong?
There are sometimes a little hesitancies there. I kind of like tread the line mostly, and just vote for whoever I feel like is the best candidate at the time. Because I've seen some Republican candidates that are terrible, just like I've seen Democratic candidates that are terrible. So therefore, I kind of like I hold my vote for ransom almost, because you almost have to in this day and age.
It's as if you're using your head to make the decision each and every time, which is what any politician doesn't want you to do.
Exactly.
To think about the issue and to not be a shoo-in vote for either party or for any specific issue. Chad, real quick before we go here, how old are you? You're 28?
I'm 28.
28? Okay. So, Katie, you're 28 too, right?
November. Give me some time.
In a
November's
couple
when
of
I'm.
weeks.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm just advancing the age of everybody here. What do you think? I do believe that you are at one of those pivotal ages where there's what you've always heard, and this happens to people who are raised in Republican houses and people who are raised in Democrat houses. You know, you are what your parents are for the most part until you start experiencing the other end of those things and those decisions. And then you go, but wait a second. And then you think for yourself. And sometimes that reaffirms how you were raised. Sometimes it makes you drastically go, wait, I think you've been seeing this all wrong. What do you think it is? Somebody, your fellow late 20s, maybe early 30s, folks that are out there who are, they're working with mortgages and they've maybe got a kid or two, or maybe they're in a committed relationship and they want to elevate themselves to that next part of your life. What issues are the key issues that cause people to maybe, put their finger on their chin and go, I don't know if I've been looking at this, or maybe I have. It's not, maybe they've been right based on the information they had, but they realize they have not seen the full picture. And they've got this extra info that is coloring more of the picture for them to maybe make an alternative decision. What are those issues that you find to be the most important to you and potentially your peers?
So to me, the most important issues to me is like, okay, I want to be a business owner. I already have my own businesses and I see how they're flourishing. I see all the opportunities that have been provided in the last few years. And I also see on the opposing side is, okay, like I remember when I first started with when we were on the other side on the other side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were talking about, I was talking to some Democratic parties and it was me and Chris Arps. We were just talking political parties. And the first thing they were saying was, oh, we got the union, we got these warehouse jobs and things like that. And I was just like, I was kind of appalled because it was like, okay, so where's the independence? Where is okay, you don't have to work for somebody your entire life and then retire and then have to go back to work because you can't afford to retire. They didn't have the answers for that. And I was kind of sad that I kind of stumped them when I asked those questions because I like these women a lot. But I just can't just fold for what used to be a good idea. Like they tell me like my grandparents joined the union, but I realized my grandparents joined the union because they couldn't find a job because slavery was just ending. like that's how old my grandparents were. Not to laugh it off, but that's what I had to realize. And
That's
I had
the
to realize,
context.
I had to realize my grandparents were never going to be business owners because they didn't have that opportunity. And I realized that I did and I do. So I don't feel like I have to just go with the flow of things. And when I talk to a lot of other people, besides the financial freedoms and things like that, they're worried about healthcare. And don't let me break down all the healthcare issues that I see now. A lot of doctors have turned into pill pushers and things like that. And they're like, why? I was like, well, why do you think? The Affordable Health Care Act that came across the table that made doctors like public defenders. They're overworked and underpaid now. And he's like, how can a doctor be underpaid? Well, look how many patients they have to see in a day now because of, we're going to give you this health care that's affordable. In our reality, it's not affordable unless you don't work, unless you don't have a 2-family household and things of that nature. Like, I remember I tried to sign up for it and I was going to pay more for Obamacare than I was going to pay for independent insurance. I was like, yeah, no, I can't do that.
Chad, let me ask you a quick question before we wrap. And I was going to wrap before this, but I just have to ask this. You talked about your grandparents not being able to be business owners because of the time that they were around was so close in proximity to the time of actual slavery. And you said, you have the opportunity. They didn't have that opportunity. Are you proud of this country for the amount of progress that they have made thus far in this amount of time, in the span of, those 3 generations, regardless of progress that is yet needed? Not to say that the job is done, but is that a point of American pride for you when you look at that change has been made? Or is that something that makes you feel sad? What's your reaction to knowing that you in this country, 2 generations removed from your grandparents who couldn't have that shot because of how close they were to the time where we actually did have slaves?
It's honestly a bittersweet emotion, quite honestly, just on the fact that I have to realize like this is something that they actually did go through. This is something that still affects our families till to this day, by mental mindsets and of like holding you back because you don't believe that you can do certain things. So it's a bittersweet. I will say America does have a lot further to go when it comes to like these type of issues, but I do see progress. I won't ignore the progress at all.
I love it. Chad, so many people commenting right now that they love your conversation. We're actually getting text messages from people saying Chad is great and we love hearing him. Your perspective is an important one. We're glad we can include it on the show. We look forward to doing that again next week. Each Monday at 2:00, we talk with Chad. We're going to take a quick break. We'll wrap up the show here. The president is speaking at what I assume is his first rally today. Does he have 2 today, maybe?
Yeah, he does have 2, yeah.
Just 2? Oh,
Just
what's
2.
Joe Biden doing? He's eating 2 meals with 2 naps. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll wrap this up before we hand it over to the Dave Glover Show, who is venturing bravely and boldly into their 21st year on the radio. Pretty cool stuff. That was an exciting show last week, Friday, celebrating their 20th anniversary and also simultaneously the 20th anniversary of this radio station. Pretty cool stuff. We'll be back in a minute.
Never really over. Just because it's over doesn't mean it's really over. And if I think it over, maybe you'll be coming over again. And I have to get over you all over again.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
Doesn't mean it's really over. And if I think it over, maybe you'll be coming over again.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I guess I could try hypnotherapy.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. You're not the only one working more from inside your home. So is your HVAC system. If your system needs service, Air Comfort Service will promptly and safely be there for you. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
You have been hearing the phrase, others can't compete with Complete. So just exactly what does that mean? Well, at Complete Auto Body, they are the leaders in the industry and always strive to be the best. They offer touchless service, and they are proud to offer pickup and delivery to any of their services. Your safety is the utmost importance to them as they sanitize their shops several times a day. They are also offering $50 off any repair, big or small, for any new customers, even if the repair is $49. And then it's free for our first-time customers that require our auto body collision repair and or our mechanical service repairs. Lastly, while we repair your vehicle, don't worry. We have you covered with our loaner cars for only $9.99 per day while the car is in repair. To put it simply, they offer the complete experience. This is where they show you Complete's mission. They are a family and will serve you as if you were one of their own. With 5 convenient locations, others can't compete with Complete. CompleteAB.com.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you have heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station as the financial expert for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend on 97.1 FM Talk, and in case you miss any of those shows, on his podcast on radio.com. That's radio.com, and search Safe Money 97.1. So call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Are you sick and tired of your janitorial company not meeting your expectations? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis, the commercial cleaning company you can count on. Have you had it with your cleaning guys not showing up? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis to get the job done. The Jan Pro cleaning and disinfection process guarantees satisfaction for a wide range of industries and budgets through quality, technology, and a measurement for a consistent clean every time. Tired of no follow-up? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis, 314-989-9977. Trusted, clean, guaranteed.
If you are looking for a home warranty, please check out my friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. You know, that maintenance part of their title is extremely important. Most home warranty companies out there want to deny your claim due to lack of maintenance. They claim you haven't been taking care of your equipment over time, so they don't have to help you out. Well, at Upkeep, they completely eliminate that worry by sending their own technicians out to your home 4 times a year to do the general maintenance for you. And if you ever need service done, they will either repair or replace your equipment, and that work is also being done by an Upkeep employee. It's not a third-party contractor trying to upsell you. Their plans are extremely affordable. You can even divide your payments up over the 12 months of the year. And when you use code DGS, you get $100 off your service. To check out all of their different home warranty plans, go to their website, upkeepstl.com. That's upkeepstl.com.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
The chickens are finally coming home to roost. This is the stuff that novels are made of, and yet Joe Biden claims he didn't know. Now, it's possible that he did know, but he forgot about it. I would buy that argument, Randy, because he probably doesn't remember what he had for dinner last night.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Dear, I feel we're facing a problem. You love me no longer. I know, and maybe there is nothing that I can do to make you do.
I'm trying to look at this sound sheet that I have here to see if we missed covering any of these stories. I feel like we kind of did it all today.
I think we did.
Yeah, we could just pack it up here and
See you guys later.
see ya.
21st year of the DGS is now expanded show. It's now 4 hours and 13 minutes. Come on in. That was a pretty cool show. Did you guys get to listen to it last week?
Yes.
Yeah,
it
I
was
heard
awesome.
most of it. It was good.
Yeah, I
It was
heard
cool.
about 2 hours of it.
Lots of voices over the course of the years participated in that to wish the DGS a happy 20th. I thought that was pretty neat. Going into Thursday, which is the debate, apparently the Trump campaign is asking the debate commission to focus more on foreign policy regarding, because the questions, or the topics, I should say, the categories of discussion have been posted. They want more of the conversation to exist around foreign policy. I wonder why that is.
I know why you're suggesting that it is, but it's also a point that nobody thought was going to be a Trump strength. I mean, peace in the Middle East, that's a huge talking point for Trump, and I can see why they would want to avoid it.
Not initially. Alan on our Facebook Live says, I like watching Annie's show better than listening because Annie has awesome facial expressions and they say a lot. Do you know how long in my lifetime I've been hearing that from people? That my face says more? Like, what does it mean to be a radio broadcaster and have a face that says more than my mouth? I don't know. Is that a compliment?
It means you're cautious with what you say.
Yeah.
You do have a heavy filter. I will say that.
I do.
Yeah.
There's a value in taking the high road and making sure that you're at command of all of the words that you say. And inevitably, the one time I choose to not go that route, or it gets the best of me, is probably what will end me.
You know what, though? You can tell that's what's fun about watching you. I mean, I'm sitting here watching you every day because we're talking, but
it's the creepiest thing you've ever said.
Yeah, I know. Is that I can tell when you're like, I'm going to hold back right now. I'm going to say just X, Y, and not Z. And you can see it on your face. And that's probably what that listener was saying.
We'll be broadcasting live from my basement, again on Thursday. And I am curious, both of you, tell me what you think is going to happen. Katie, the debate on Thursday, Joe Biden is not going to be in public until that debate. Donald Trump right now is giving his first of 2 rallies today. Where is he? He's in Arizona. That's right. They're both in Arizona. Katie, what do you expect? What's your prediction?
I really hope that Trump can just zip it when he needs to zip it.
There's a huge difference between what you hope and what you expect.
What I expect will be that it will be better than the last time, because I think that Trump and Biden, I think Trump and Biden are listening to their coaches, are listening to the public, and all of us were like, we need something, especially because this is going to be the last debate. So we are all saying we need something better than what we witnessed the first time. I think that they're going to listen to that. What I really, really want in my heart, and I really hope this works out, is for Trump to pull it in a little bit, take a breath, and allow Joe Biden to elaborate on the things that he needs to elaborate on, and let him make a fool of himself if that's the right, let him speak. If he has something to say, take a step back and let him explain himself. And that will prove more to all of us than anything that Trump could have ever offered.
There are so many times in this last debate where the opportunity to do exactly that was Donald Trump's, tripping all over the payoff, which was he had great questions for Joe Biden to answer. But instead, they tried to suck up the most oxygen in the room. Trump certainly did. And ask the question and then just be silent. If you are using 8 seconds of silence, which is a painfully long time to sit and wait for someone to answer a question, if it's a straight and pointed question to Joe Biden and you sit and wait for an answer that he has to give without shouting at one another, what's the answer that Joe Biden's going to give? If it's about Hunter Biden, what if it's about, do you or don't you support the Green New Deal? Because you've said one thing and your website says another. Do you support the Green New Deal? You sit and you wait, and Joe Biden has to fill that space with something, and his answer is what Americans are waiting for. You're so right, Katie. Let Joe Biden trip himself up instead of, this constant tangled mess where you're tripping all over everybody all together at the same time, and it's just going to be a mess. Go ahead, Ryan. What do you think?
Well, it's such a bad strategic move for Joe Biden to call a lid this week because he's behind the 8 ball right now.
I'm giving you right now.
Yeah, I see that look. I saw the look you were given while you were waiting, and nobody else saw that unless you were watching online.
I bet people could hear that look I just gave you.
You really could. He's needs to be out in front of this thing, or it's going to control the narrative for the rest of the election. And we know now we're not going to hear from him for 4 days. He hasn't been great at getting out in front of things in general. The media does it for him. So I guess you could say, well, who cares? They'll take care of him anyway. But he's losing this battle. And if it gets worse, it's not going to be pretty. And then Thursday night's going to be very ugly, whether Donald Trump steps back or not.
Check out this video if you're watching us on the live, and I'll explain it to you for you folks who are listening on the radio. This is the president's tweet here as he is flying and landing in Prescott, Arizona. It's just a 9-second clip, but from the airplane, you can see many people here who are waiting outside the airport. I'm going to freeze it here for a second. It's massive. This means something, folks. There are 2 rallies taking place in Arizona, and it is a packed house. And they'll show you, you can see the fact that these lines, there are people who stand in line all day and they wrap around forever. And they're people who aren't actually even going to get into the actual event. And they want to see this president. That has to mean something. I'll tell you what, though. You know, Red Mask Lady, have you seen how much effort was put into, like, oh, she's a paid, she was paid to be there by the Trump administration and all this stuff. Let me ask you a question. The first debate moderator, Chris Wallace, he is, from what I understand, is he a registered Democrat? I've seen that. I've
heard that, but I don't know.
was going to say, I've seen that so much that I almost just said it to be fact. I'm going to say that I've heard it, but I don't know it to be true. But he absolutely has no love for this president. And he was very generous to Joe Biden in that. He has known Democrat ties. The moderator of the second debate lied about tweeting Scaramucci about something, who is like ground zero for Trump hate.
Dummy.
He said he didn't do it because he didn't want to seem as though he was biased. Well, it turns out he was so aware of how biased it seemed that he lied about it.
Dumb.
And then got caught real fast.
This third, the vice president moderator, who we all thought was pretty good. You know, she's writing a biography right now for Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
I think she did a good job. I don't want to take away from what she did. And I know some other people don't like it, but I think they're predisposed to not liking these moderators. And then the debate moderator for this upcoming one has documented strong Democrat ties. Everybody is so obsessed with how Red Mask Lady even got into an NBC debate performance because she nodded with the president, and they like doxed her that night, and they tried to expose her for what she was. How dare she be a Trump supporter? She was in that audience and she was a Republican. How did that even happen? The debaters are all Democrats, and they're all working with the highest level Democrats they are. Why does nobody care about this stuff? I mean, it's just evidence, more further evidence of how lopsided this whole game is. The deck is stacked, and we all know it is. That's why it's so frustrating, isn't it? Don't you know it eats at you, it grates at you because it's an unfair fight. Still have to win it, folks. And they got 15 days left to do it. Stick with us each day, noon to 3, and we will continue to cover this, and the DGS takes over now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss America 2020.